All right. Second tries a go. Are we on? So it's so weird because I did start technically already. I did try it once, but then I stopped it because I didn't know if it was actually going up. And yep, we are going. Perfect. So sorry about that. If anyone saw that. Again, I'm not used to streaming very often, but here we are. So yeah, I did decide to live stream tonight. The finale, I mean, I did for 42 and for BB Can. So it's really only my third time ever doing it, but I enjoy it. And yeah, this should make for some interesting content here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get all set up. Like I did try today to like get like a better setup and everything. And yeah, like so far things seem to be going pretty well. Again, I'm not very good at this stuff, or should I say I'm not very used to it. So yeah, so you will have to bear with me to a degree. Um so yes, we are about a little less than an hour away from the finale now, and it should be pretty fun. Oh my god, I'm watching myself on the screen, and it's like I am lagging so far behind here, but I am doing my best. Again, I want to keep track of the chat, see if anything comes up. So I don't know if this is like lagging on my end or if it's just my like because I'm looking at my screen right now and I can tell that's behind like what it's doing. Like I'm just gonna throw my hand up and it's probably gonna be a couple seconds in the future. Um, my bit rate is higher than recommended. Yeah, I did try to like improve that to a degree. It's telling me I should bump it down. So yeah, I'm probably just gonna bump down the bit rate a bit. So let's see if I can do that. Oh my god, it's using 70% of my computer. Um, oh my god. Yeah, yeah, I do not need 6500. Um, did I do it? Recording. Okay, that seems to be helping out to a degree. Um, oh my god, it is still lagging quite a bit. Yeah, I got a message on YouTube saying that it was below, and even now, like it's still like lagging a little bit. But you're not here for that. Yeah, if it is like if I am like lagging at any point, just let me know. So I did have some things like thought like I could do like while we wait for the show to start. We got a bit of time here. But yeah, it is finale night. And we got quite a bit to show here. So I talked about this in my I talked about this earlier on my Discord server, but today is the channel's birthday, or at least this channel's birthday. I mean, my original channel is a bit older than it, but it it's a pretty big accomplishment. Like, like so I just find that funny that it happens to fall on the same night as the finale here. And so yeah, that's pretty cool. Um okay, it's telling me that the stream is fine. Okay, that's good. So I guess while we wait, I can talk a bit about what I'm expecting for the finale. So obviously I showed my so obviously I did my jury scenarios video back on Monday, and I was pretty happy with it for the most part. I was pretty happy with like what I did there. Now, granted, we did get some more information since Monday about the what the jury's thinking. And admittedly, I don't think we learned too much about what they think about the remaining players. But something I did find interesting was how much they talked about Cody as being this really big player and someone that they really liked. Like one of the questions that they asked was like, which juror did you like the most, basically? And I think one of them said Sammy. I think it was Janine who said Sammy. Let me just get some confirmation on that. Yep. So Janine said Sammy, but then everyone else that we saw an answer for, James, Noel, and Sammy, they all said Cody was their favorite juror. And that definitely made me think that maybe Cody was a bigger jury threat than like maybe we thought. Now, again, I did think for a lot of the season that Cody was a contender to everything, but I guess part of the reason why I did question whether the Cody move was the correct decision for Jesse was because I was under the impression that Jesse would beat Jesse. I mean, Jesse would beat Cody in a jury vote, and since Cody wanted to take Jesse to the end, that maybe it was the wrong decision of Jesse to take out Cody in that spot. But like with the way that the jury's been talking, like it is possible that it was probably the correct decision. As who knows, maybe there was a chance that Cody could have won that jury vote. Now, again, that's not the smoking gun. Like we're gonna need some exit interviews and what have you in order to confirm that. But so far, I mean, it definitely indicates that was a big move. And we also saw that on the show, like you can definitely tell that the jury had a pretty big reaction to the Cody blindside. So that's something at least. And yeah, like it really does make me view that move a bit more favorably. So yeah, that's something interesting that I thought of. Oh my god, this setup. Yeah, so I am still getting used to the setup. Like I am trying to like adjust things accordingly, so you'll have to bear with me. Yeah, I'm just making sure I can see everything that I have to see here. So just shifting things over a bit. Yeah, I'm definitely like using like I tried to like use like a better setup this time than I did last time. And it there we go. That's better. Yeah, so I'm a bit more center now. Again, like this is a bit funny. All right, we got our first chat here. Jesse's gonna win. Um, there's definitely a chance that Jesse could win. Like now, I'm not on the same bandwagon as a lot of other people. I mean, it's sort of crazy. Like I've been hearing like people like RJP and like some other people online saying that Jesse's basically got this game won at this point, and they almost talk as if there's no way that anyone else can win. And if we're talking purely from a like game perspective, like I agree. Like I think that Jesse would win against everyone. I talked about that in my jury scenarios video. But again, I am just really worried about that fire making challenge. Like I feel like with the edit that Jesse's been getting, like it's not as if the edit's gone like above and beyond for him. Like I know some people have talked about like his edit, like they're saying that oh like we got like his like winter edit right from the beginning, like how we saw him talking about his like his family, like to talk about his background of him being part of a gang. And obviously, we got more of that in recent episodes, like literally in the last episode when we saw him pulling off this Cody blindside. I mean, he did get that content talking about his family and how like he was using that as a way of justifying the move. And to be fair, that is probably a bigger boon for his edit. But again, if we are taking that out, I mean, he got an edit that made me think he was set up for a downfall. Like I remember like a couple weeks ago, this was probably around the time of the final eight, like right after it was right after the I'm trying to remember the boot order. It was after the Noel boot. Like we got that scene confessional right before tribal with like Gabler talking about how Jesse's like a big player and that they need to be careful for him. And that made me think that Jesse was probably going to be targeted at that final seven round. And granted, he didn't, which is pretty crazy there. But I mean, we also got in this previous episode Gabler talking about how like he's like an assassin and how he's like gonna take out the big kingpin, whatever. Like there's definitely setup to like Gabler potentially making a big move down the road, and he hasn't really made it yet. But I'm like, and I've been thinking about this some more. Like it is possible that Gabler could just win Final Four immunity and take on uh Jesse and Fire. Hello, hey Blaze. Uh, yeah, that's my face for once. But I think that's a very real possibility that Gabler could win Final Four immunity and basically pull like Chris Underwood, where he just gives up immunity, takes on Jesse and Fire, and beats him. Because I think Gabler would probably beat anyone at Fire, if I'm being honest. Like, I would find it very hard to believe that he would lose Fire. I mean, that could also be his edit. Like, he could just try to make a big move and completely backfire on him. But I could also see it being a case where he does make this big move and ultimately take out um Jesse and Fire. Oh my god, this is behind. Yeah, like I'm just watching the stream. Yeah, I don't know how far behind it is. Like apparently like YouTube's telling me that the stream is in good shape and all, but oh my god, like this is like really far behind. So I do apologize if it's taking me longer to react to comments than like it probably is, but it's just the way the stream is working. But should be interesting. Should be interesting. I'm just gonna test here by taking a sip of water, see how long it takes for the stream to pick it up. It's telling me 12:23 here. I'm rooting for Cass to win. I mean, she's definitely the next most likely person to win. I mean, and I think it's weird though because I know like she's like one of the bigger like edge contenders to win. Like, and again, she's someone that I'm probably leaning more towards at this point. Oh my god, I'm just taking out the water now. Like, I'm just like putting it into my hands. Like that was. Oh my god. I'm sorry if I'm just rambling, but it's just like ridiculous how far behind I am in stream, which could be a good thing. That especially once the show actually starts, I'll have a, like the late reaction and everything. Oh my god, it's almost a minute since I almost spent a minute. So wow, this is really far behind. No, I am not a gumball machine, Blaze. I'm not a gumball machine. I am a living, breathing human being. Yeah, I know it's crazy that there are multiple contenders out here. And again, oh my god, I am just taking a sip of the water now. Like, okay, so now I know how big the lag is. Like, I am like over a minute, but I am over a minute behind. So like, by the time you listen to what I'm saying, like it will already have been like over a minute since I actually said it. So, wow, I did not realize how far behind the stream is. But again, like I think it'll work out. I mean, I'm probably not going to spoil anything for anyone with my reaction. So again, probably for the better that it's a delayed reaction, though. I do apologize if it takes me longer to respond. I am responding to these in real time. It's just the stream is like behind. So it'll literally take a little bit for me, for at least my response to get relayed to you. It's so cool that there are multiple winner contenders here. Yep. Yeah, exactly. So the way I see it, like again, I haven't really changed anything from my power rankings. Really, it's Jesse, Gabler, and Cassidy. Those are the contenders for me to win. Again, I know people are saying that Jesse's got this all locked up. I am not convinced of that at all. I know I did put Jesse number one on my power ranking from this past week, but That is not secure at all. No, I cannot give you free gumballs, unfortunately. But yeah, like I'm very excited to see what will happen. Now, I guess to speak a bit personally, like I personally hope that Jesse wins the season. I think Jesse would be the most satisfying winner from a gameplay perspective. And personally, I want to be able to talk about Jesse as a winner, as one of the great winners in Survivor history, as I feel like Jesse has played a great game, and it would be really cool to talk about him as a winner. Now, yes, if he is like a Final Four boot, then like whatever. I mean, he'll just be like one of the great what ifs, I guess, in Survivor history that ends up happening. But I personally want Jesse to win. Although, again, if we are basing this off the edit and how I think the finale is going to break down, I definitely have some reservations, to say the least. Survivor is going to be on in 40 minutes. Well, by the time you hear this, it's probably going to be like 39. It's going to be on 8 p.m. Eastern. So wherever you are, it's going to be on the top of the hour. Again, like I'm trying to like take into account that there is a minute lag, at least based off what I'm seeing. Like I literally have YouTube open right now. Like I am literally seeing myself speaking on the screen, and like I'm just like looking back in my mirror, and like I literally used the water bottle as a test to see like how bad the lag was. It was bad, but I'll just have to live with it, and again, we'll make do. So anyway, what am I actually expecting to happen tonight? Well, I think final five, I guess, to go through each of the rounds. So final five, I think it's probably going to be either Cassidy or Carla that go home here. Oh wow, you're in Singapore. Yeah, so that's gonna be so what time is it in Singapore actually? I should probably look that up. Singapore time. Oh wow, it's 8 in the morning for you. So okay, that's not too bad. Um, I mean, hopefully you'll be able to watch the finale live somehow. But yeah, that's cool. Like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, it's like yeah, it's like 13 hours. Yeah, I'm like 13 hours behind you. All right, I'm getting sidetracked here. Yep, 8:21. Oh wow, you actually so actually maybe it's not as far behind as I thought. Again, like I'm trying to gauge this as best as I can. So so anyway, I'm so sidetracked right now, but again, that's probably why I started a bit earlier. So final five, I think we are either going to see Cassidy or Carla being voted out here. Now, I think there is a slight chance it could be Gabler. I think there is a slight possibility that Jesse recognizes that Gabler would take the shot at him at 4 and would probably want to preempt that somehow. But more than likely, he probably is thinking of taking Gabler to the end. Like, literally, the number one scenario I have here. Okay, so it's not that bad. Yeah, like I was literally just like, again, I'm basing this entirely off like what I'm seeing on my screen, and literally the stuff that I'm seeing on my screen is a whole minute behind. So like that's what I was basing off that. But okay, it's not, if it's not too bad, I can live with that. But so realistically, like if Jesse knew that Gabler was going to take the shot at him, then maybe he could try to preempt that somehow, and then just hope that the Cassidy and Carla rivalry can like he can perpetuate that to 4, so that they could both take him to the end. But I think more than likely he just picks a side there and takes out one of them. Now, obviously, who he takes out is going to be pretty important here. If I had to guess, if we are assuming Jesse actually wins, I think he takes out Cassidy here. I think he recognizes that Cassidy is a bigger challenge threat. I mean, she's literally won the last couple of immunities, and if they have a chance to take Cassidy out at 5, then he would probably do that because then he goes into Final Four with a better chance of actually winning immunity. He probably thinks he has a better shot at Final Four immunity against Carla, And even if he doesn't pull that out, he probably thinks he has a better shot against her in fire. So realistically, I think Jesse should probably take out Cassidy there simply to improve the odds of him actually getting to the end. Now, the flip side to that is Carla's probably a bigger jury threat than Cassidy as well. So that's definitely another risk to take into account there. But again, like if he knows that he has a better shot at beating Carla at Final Four immunity or even fire, I think that's probably what he ends up doing there. So again, he probably like takes that shot, whips out the idol, maybe, or maybe he'll pull a Marianne and just pocket the idol, especially if he knows he doesn't need it. Then that way he can just like whip it out at Final Tribal. So that is possible. Actually, I don't know if that'd be as impressive as like Marianne, because the whole thing with Marianne, like pulling out like her idol at Final Tribal, was that she obviously got Mike to play his idol on her at the final five. Or was it final six? Like, man, I'm so bad at this. Remembering. I guess it's as good a time to whip this out. So I actually created another screen so that I could potentially like show off this like tech, I guess. So let's. So was it final five or final six that the idol was played? Okay, it was five. And yep. Okay, okay. So yeah, it was five that Mike played the idol, and then yeah, so like Mike played his idol on Marianne, thinking that like Marianne like didn't have any means of protecting herself. But then like obviously when she whips that out, her own idol out at Final Tribal, that's obviously like a big flashy thing. Like she basically or at least perception wise, it seemed like Marianne manipulated Mike into playing his idol on her, even though she already had one. But here, like this would definitely be like a somewhat similar case here where um it would be a somewhat similar case where obviously Jesse played an idol only and like maybe tricked people into thinking he didn't have another one, but then he just whips it out again. Though if I were him, I would probably just whip it out anyway. Even if he doesn't actually need the idol. I mean, it's like one, it's Final Five. Why not? Like you might as well just play, guarantee your spot in four. But again, I think just the act of playing it, especially like if you're able to do it in a way that is able to impact the vote, like I think that'll just be another really flashy move to the jury. Is that like you obviously played your idol last round, and then just when they thought that you couldn't make something, just when you thought that he couldn't make magic happen again, he just whips it out another idol and is able to make another flashy move. Now I'm sure like he'll probably like maybe hesitate a little bit because he probably already thinks that the Cody move was like such a big flash that he could end up making himself a big target. But he should know that he's already a big target. Like if I were Jesse, I would be under the assumption that I need to prepare to make fire. Like, because that's really what's going to have to come down to. He should recognize that he is this close to actually winning the game here, and he should obviously prepare himself to make fire. So, either way, I think it's probably going to be best for him to play the idol at five, potentially in a way that makes it so that his vote is a deciding factor. Like, I'm not saying he should actually draw votes on himself just so he can whip out the idol, but he should definitely take advantage of the fact that other people don't know that he has another idol to ensure that the vote goes however he wants it. So I think that'll be an interesting thing to see. So he'll get through five. Again, I think either Cassidy or Carlo will go out at five. And then at four, I think it does depend on who's there. I mean, so let's run it through. So if we are assuming that Cassidy or Carlo goes out at five, if Gabler wins Final Four immunity, he's definitely putting Jesse in the fire. I think Gabler for sure saves Owen, and then he basically has Jesse against whoever else is there. If Owen wins immunity, I think he does the same thing. I think he definitely puts Jesse and whoever's there in fire as well. Then we have Jesse. If Jesse wins immunity, I don't know, who does he save? I mean, it doesn't matter at that point. I think he would save Owen and put Gabler into fire because he probably assumes that Gabler is better at fire than Owen. So he puts Gabler into fire, takes on either Cassidy or Carla, beats them, gets to the end, wins the game. And then we have Cassidy and Carla. So this is a bit interesting. Let's so I think they should put Jesse into fire. Like if one of them gets taken out at 5 and then the other wins immunity at 4, then they're probably putting Jesse into fire, no doubt, and they're probably putting Gabler against him. Again, if we are assuming that Gabler's the one who's better at fire and would be the sure bet, then they would put Gabler into fire and basically count on him to beat Jesse. However, let's say that Jesse does like pull the trigger and like takes out Gabler for some reason at 5. Then it becomes a bit more interesting because obviously Cassidy and Carla are against each other here. But I don't know. I think Jesse goes into fire either way because it's like, what's the alternative? They put Owen in the fire? Like, are they really gonna put Owen into fire? Like, especially if you're assuming that Owen's like not that big of a jury threat. So again, I think Jesse is gonna be guaranteed. Jesse would need to win immunity just to avoid fire. What am I looking at? Well, I have two screens. Basically, I got my laptop, which again I'm recording out of. And then right next to me, I have like my computer screen, which is like I use to like if I need to look anything up during the show. So again, like I am sort of shifting back and forth along the way, but that's what I'm looking at. But yeah, so Jesse, I think Jesse would need to win final immunity to avoid fire. It's really hard to see him not going into fire. It's just a matter of whether he can actually win that fire making challenge. That's really what this whole finale comes down to is can Jesse win fire because I've already explained this. He wins a jury vote against everyone. Now I know some people like have said that maybe the jury could be better. I mean, we obviously saw Cody being very upset at Jesse on the way out. Where obviously like we saw in like Cody's like exit interview that he definitely came off as pretty upset. And obviously like you can tell that he felt betrayed because he was obviously going to take Jesse to the end and he very much saw Jesse as his number one ally only for Jesse to not reciprocate that. And you know, like I know some people are saying that, oh, that means Cody's going to be bitter. I don't think he's going to be bitter. I think Cody recognizes the move. I think Cody recognizes that Jesse did this as a game move, that Jesse very much sees him as a worthy competitor and someone that he needed to take out. So and I think as like he spends time on Ponderosa, like he definitely probably cooled down in that time since like he probably came to his senses. He probably talked out with some people, got out all the emotions that he got, and yeah, I think Cody is a locked vote for Jesse in every scenario. I mean, and I think I reflected that too in my jury scenarios video. Like Cody is not going to be bitter against Jesse, and I simply don't agree with anyone who claims that. So, yeah, that's where I stand on that. I guess we can also take a look at some of the other jurors. So we can pull up the fancy screen again. All right. So let's pull up some interesting scenarios here. Um, which one should I pull up? Okay, so here we have. All right. So here we have Cassidy, Gabler, and Owen here, right? And I said in the video that Cassidy would win this jury vote. I mean, getting all these votes. And I actually think this is the only scenario I said that Cassidy would win. And obviously, that's one of the knocks against Cassidy, like in terms of her winning chances. It's like Like I don't really see a ton of scenarios where she actually wins. I think if she gets to the end with Carla, Carla will probably get most of the votes that were coming her way. Now, I think James could be a bit up in the air. Like, I don't think James was super happy with Carla on his way out. He probably didn't like respect the fact that she voted him out at that split tribal, especially considering like Carla wasn't really in control of that vote either. Like, yeah, I know like he was probably going to go home anyway, but like the fact that Carla still voted him out, like he probably wasn't like super thrilled about that. So I think because of that, like James could be a bit more up in the air, like in a number of these scenarios. If like Carla and Cassidy are at the end together. Now, to be fair, I don't think that's happening. I don't see a world where Cassidy and Carla are at the end together, which is why I have those scenarios at the bottom of that list. But again, I'm just rambling. So again, so like I guess like we could so James like obviously locked vote for Cassidy in like this scenario where it's like Cassidy but not Carla at the end, and also not Jesse. But because I think James would vote for Jesse at the end. Then we have Carla. Now, honestly, like I'm not 100% convinced that Carla would vote for Cassidy. Now, it is weird because like you have that rivalry between them, right? I do think Carlo will end up voting for Cassidy at the end of it, but I will admit that it's definitely like uncertain. Like, and that was definitely one that I thought about a bit more. Janine is interesting. Like, I I guess one of the assumptions that I had when I was making the video was that I think Janine, if if applicable, would wouldn't mind like a woman winning this season. Now, that's not to say she wouldn't vote for like Jesse at the end. Like she would vote for Jesse. But I assume that in like a lot of these scenarios involving like Carla or Cassidy that she would probably lean towards that. Not so much because like she has like that great of a relationship with like those two. Like as we know that she kind of had a positive relationship with Owen. Gabler not so much. Like obviously like yes like Gabler was kind of responsible for like blowing up her spot by like taking out Ellie and stuff, but I don't think Janine's gonna really respect Gabler that much. So again, I just think by default like Cassidy and Carla will be playable enough to her, and then Sammy's a bit weird. Honestly, I think Sammy could be an interesting vote in like scenarios not involving Jesse. Like I think he's a lock vote for Jesse in like every scenario involving Jesse. But in the scenarios that don't have Jesse in it, I think Sammy could be all over the place. Like the more that I think about it, because he obviously has a good relationship with Carla. Like and that was shown on the show that he has a solid relationship with Carla, and that was in like the split tribal round where it's like he was shown like talking to her about like the possibility of voting out James. Like and here's like an example of that. So like in this scenario, I had like Sammy as a swing vote between Jesse and Carla, right? I think he leans towards Jesse. I think he would recognize that Jesse plays the better game in the scenarios involving Jesse and Carla. But when it's just Carla, I mean, obviously he leans towards her in that regard. And I think he would probably lean towards Carla over Cassidy. Then we have like Owen. Like Sammy definitely had a good relationship with Owen, kind of like through like their men's alliance, I guess. But I think Sammy would not look too highly on Owen's game, like because like really what is there to really prop up with him? Like I guess like being an underdog and being underestimated, I guess. But I don't think that's how Sammy's gonna vote as a juror. Like I think Sammy is someone who will be voting based off game. I think he'll be voting for the person he believes played the best game. And let's be real, Owen did not play that good of a game. Like he was pretty much on the bottom for most of that season. And I don't think a jury's really going to reward that. All right, let's take a look at the. I did turn away from the chat a bit. Oh, hey, Flame Masters. Oh, nice to see you here. Queen Cassidy is coming for the win. Sure, I guess. Cass and James were really close according to some interviews. Yeah, that's true. Like, I mean, they were in the same alliance for most of the game. Like, it was really like it was Cassidy, James, Carla, and Lindsay who were at the initial core of Coco. So like I again, it's not as if James doesn't have a good relationship with Cassidy. I just think between Carla and Cassidy, like it's a bit more up in the air. I assume it's tough, really. Like I could see him going either way, like in scenarios involving both Cassidy and Carla. But like in scenarios like without Jesse that involved just one of them, I think he would vote for one of them. I don't think James would have much of an issue voting for either one. It's just a matter of who he personally leans more towards. Now, I assume based on the show that James was closer to Carla. I assumed that like on the pre-merge that James and Carla were the ones talking strategy more often, and James probably turned to Carla more for strategy. I mean, we literally saw like in like that Lindsay round, for example, like the two of them were talking a lot, and it did seem like it came down to their decision over who to boot there. So again, so based off that, I would assume that like James would probably lean more towards Carla, but I don't know. It's just the way that Carla acted in that final round before he went out that could make things a bit weird. So I don't know. I don't see any bitter jurors this season. Me neither. Like, I don't think anyone's like bitter per se. It's just more a matter of who they're like respecting more in this case. And I think when I say like James was like not super happy with Carla, I'm not saying that was bitter at Carla. Like I just think that he doesn't respect like the move to like vote him out. Like he probably saw it as like not super necessary for her to like vote him out in that situation. Like he probably felt like she could have done a bit more in that case to like try to like make a move against them. Like, and you could like debate whether that would have been possible or not, but he probably takes like Carla voting him out in that instance like more as like a self-preservation thing than like her like just trying to like build some goodwill with like the majority or at least the people that were on that tribe in that specific round. So like I'm not saying like he's bitter or anything, but he probably doesn't look super highly on that move either. So like I guess that's what I mean by that. Carlo's not winning. Personally, I agree. I mean, again, I think Carla's probably the second like biggest jury threat in this final five. It's just I don't think she's getting to the end, or at least she's not getting into the end in a winning position. I think she either gets cut, or she gets to the end with Jesse, in which case she loses. So take that as you will. Cassie, I already read that. Um, I think Janine will be a vote for Cass for giving her a sympathy vote. Again, I think Janine would vote for Cassidy in certain situations. So like I am a bit sympathetic to her in that regard, but in like a scenario involving Carla and Cassidy, I assume she would be a bit more impressed by Carla. I think she would gravitate more towards Carla, but again, it could go either way. I can really only see Cassidy or Jesse winning this game. Honestly, me too. Like again, the way I see it, I think it really comes down to the final five round. Like, if Cassidy goes to final five, Jesse has like an 80% chance of winning the game. If Cassidy if Cassidy survives the final five round, then I think it's 60% Cassidy and like 35% Jesse in that case. It really comes down to that final five round and like what happens there. That'll be interesting to see. The fact that production isn't a fan of the season makes me worry for Jesse. Yeah, that's true. Like, like obviously, like there was that whole thing where like Jeff randomly decided to announce the premiere date for 44, like while 43 was still happening. Like it was so weird. Like it was just out of the blue. Like he was literally just in his car and like he's like Survivor 44 is coming out March 1st. It's like okay, like you're not even gonna wait for the finale to like show us like the preview and stuff. So like, yeah, that could be a reason why they are not a big fan of the season. Cassidy's game is very subtle and strategic, like Erica's. I don't know. Like, I think. I mean, Yeah, like I think Cassidy's game is a bit. It's kind of similar to Erica's in a lot of ways. Like I think Cassidy was in the majority more blatantly from the beginning, like because she was in that core majority group, and yes, while she was being targeted by Geo and Ryan, like we knew from pretty early on that she had the backing in the majority. Like she was never in like the same danger that Erica was, but even then, like Erica, like she was definitely targeted at a point, but like she like had definitely built up some goodwill by the end of that pre-merge, so I would say Cassie's game was probably better than Erica's, but not to like but yeah, like there's definitely some similarities, I would say. Janine definitely votes for Jesse over Carla. Yeah, like I agree. Like she knew it was Jesse's move last week. Yeah, like I think Janine would vote for Jesse over Carla, but like I think in scenarios with Carla but not Jesse, I think she would lean Carla in those scenarios. She looked impressive. Yep, she was impressed by Jesse. I think the editors didn't show Cassidy much because she's the winner and they didn't like her. I mean, did they not like her? I mean, I, I mean, I mean, she didn't seem that bad. I mean, if anything, like they'd probably be more underwhelmed by Erica than her. But I don't think it's a case of them not liking Cassidy. Jeff kind of spoiled that he didn't like that season, so I guess Jesse didn't win that season. Again, that's definitely a concern that maybe that's definitely a concern. Like maybe Jesse doesn't win because of the enthusiasm gap, but then again, like I mean, like Jesse's edit has been a little weird. Like you'd think they would prop up Jesse a bit more, so like maybe that's another factor as well. So like again, there's a number of weird stuff in that case. Cassidy goes at 5. Owen goes at 4. I don't think Owen goes at 4. I think Owen is pretty locked in for Final Tribal. I like it's hard for me to imagine Owen losing the fire making challenge because I think Gabler takes him to the end. I think Jesse takes him to the end. And I think Cassie or Carla, I think they would have more faith in Gabler to beat Jesse and Fire than Owen. So like I think through that they save Owen in that case. So I think from an edit perspective, they definitely been setting up Owen more as like someone who is going to get to the end. Like between him being, I mean, yes, you could say like oh he's an underdog figure, but Xander was also an underdog figure, and like they definitely like brought them up to a degree, but obviously he didn't win. And I think between that and like him just being like a narrator figure throughout the season makes me think that he's probably gonna get to the end but not win. So I don't think he loses fire. Like between the edit and from a gameplay perspective, but I could be wrong. Um Carla's having the same edit trajectory than Sammy. Um I mean, I guess. I mean, I think Carla like receded more in the background during the post merge compared to Sammy. Like I feel like Sammy was a more consistent presence during his time on the season. Like I don't think there was any like significant period where Sammy was like that subdued in the edit, whereas Carla definitely took a dip at the post merge. But yeah, like I get what you're saying. It's like I thought coming into the like I thought like before Sammy got voted out that Sammy was going to be like a losing finalist. I thought he was going to get to the end. There is a chance Carla's a losing finalist, especially if she gets to the end against Jesse. But obviously at this point, obviously Sammy's gone. It's like I don't know. I could see it going either way. Um, Gabler perfect game. No. Wait, did Gabler get any votes against him? Let me just turn this back on. Did Gabler ever get a vote against him? Um, Huh, he's never gotten a vote against him. So, I mean, it's still possible. Oh wow, Jesse's never gotten a vote against him either. So yeah, I mean, it's still possible for a perfect game to happen. I don't think Gabler's gonna pull it off, but I mean, to be fair, Jesse might get a perfect game if he gets to the end against Gabler and Owen. Like he could, you could have a perfect game. I mean, it's very wonky though. Jeff said that 44 is way better than 43, so is it possible we have a David versus Goliath part 2? I don't know. I mean, I will say like I am pretty excited for 44. I mean, like obviously I was excited. I became really excited for it like with like that idol cage twist where it's like it's a public idol that's just hidden at camp. Like it's sort of like the idol from Philippines, like where it was like hidden right at camp, but it obviously the main difference is like they just I'm assuming they just tell everyone right at the bat that hey, here's an idol, want to take it? So like I think that aspect of it's gonna be pretty interesting, and I think that could actually lead to some fun TV. And plus, it's like I'm assuming that's gonna end up replacing the Beware advantage. So like if that's the case, then like I'm fine with it. I can't complain there. Biggest clue. Oh, and I guess as for the David versus Goliath part 2, like I mean it's possible. I wouldn't complain if it were a David versus Goliath part 2. But I mean, we'll have to see. Biggest clue for why Jesse doesn't win. He was invisible in the premiere. He wasn't invisible in the premiere. Like he definitely got like his introduction. Like he got his intro package during the premiere. I mean, he didn't get a confessional during like that opening segment. And I know Inside Survivor, like they do like the edit bay, and they talked about how like one of the knocks against Jesse's edit was the fact that he didn't get a confessional during that like that opening segment when it was just like everyone coming in on the boat like and they have like those opening confessionals because Erica and Marianne they both got confessionals during like that segment in their respective seasons, so like that was sort of an indication that like hey like the winner gets a confessional during that segment. But Jesse didn't get that, and he actually didn't get content until later on the premiere, but he still got content in the premiere, so it's like it's not that per se. Um, do we need boring seasons to have great players like Boston Rob, Ken Spradlin, Tommy Sheehan, Earl Cole, Sophie Clark? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, obviously we got Tony and like Kage. I mean, yes, like that was at a time when Tony wasn't as repeatable of a player, so like take that as you will. But I mean, obviously, like all those players you just mentioned, like I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, Fiji's not a boring season. Like, I mean, the pre-merge like is pretty bad, but it's like the post-merge is actually kind of okay. Like, and actually kind of redeems the season to a degree. But I get what you're saying. It's like it's weird because obviously, like you have like these dominant players that play in like seasons like where like the cast like is a bit less dynamic and are a bit more like willing to go along with a leader per se. I personally don't think it's required. I mean, because you also have like Survivor China, where you have Todd Herzog, like he dominates the game from beginning to end, and like people say China's a great season. You know, like and like you have a great player in there. You also have Parvati, like she played two pretty good games, like on Micronesia and Heroes versus Villains, which are widely considered great seasons. So I don't think like it's a matter of like boring seasons to produce great players, but it's definitely like a factor to consider. I don't see how Cassidy is voted out over Carla, considering Owen is tunnel vision on Carla and everyone plotted against Carla last tribal, except if Carla wins immunity, but it is unlikely. Again, I think it is possible. That's a definitely a good point, but I think Jesse's like idol is going to play a factor in this vote. Like the fact that Jesse has this idol that he could potentially pull out if he really wants Cassidy or possibly Gabler out, he could just whip out that idol and like make do with what he needs. Like if he really like if it's like a matter of like Owen wants Carla out and Jesse wants someone else out, then Jesse could just use that to get his way there. So like again, it could be a toss up, but I mean, I don't think it's a guarantee. That's right. Like, we're getting very close to showtime here. Gotta, like, respond more to these comments. 44 looks pretty good, and that purple tribe looks iconic. Well, that's right. They did, like, release the tribe divisions here. Um, yeah, like, I'm not sure if I should show them on screen, but yeah, so like Inside Survivor, like they got the scoop on the tribe divisions. Yeah, so let's pull it up. I'll admit that's actually a pretty good logo for the season. But yeah, like we got the Tika tribe. Now, honestly, I'll be honest, like I haven't followed the 44 cast that closely. Like there isn't that much to go off of. So like obviously I've seen this list before, but I haven't like taken the time to like really dig deep into it. Like I tend to wait until like the preseason when we get like actual bios on these people to get more. But I mean, you got Yam Yam. Like he seems like he could be a fun character. Then you got Ratu. I mean, that should be interesting. You got a football player on there. Then you have Soka, or is it? Yeah, Soka. So yeah, I mean, you definitely have that going for it. So yeah, I mean, 44 like could be interesting. All right. Has the Shot in the Dark ever worked? No. I believe it's already been played 6 times. So like if you're like purely going off the odds, like I mean, I know some people will be like, well, 1 out of 6, 6 times it should have hit by now. And it's like it's sort of crazy that it hasn't, but no, it hasn't hit. And I heard that's right, 44 is supposed to have a tride swap too. So like yeah, that's honestly one of my biggest complaints with the new era. It's like the fact that they haven't had tride swapped. It's like it's one of those things that single handedly like one of my complaints with like 41 through 43 is the fact that like the pre merge is rarely that interesting and it led to a bunch of straightforward votes. I think the reintroduction of swaps could really like help bring that back. Like because like again, like the prospect of swaps, like that's really like something that can make like a pre-merge interesting. So like yeah, the fact that they didn't like have them during that time is like pretty bad. Like good to have them back. Do you watch TMR's stream? I don't watch it live. Like I actually used to watch it live, but it's like he does it so late at night that I'm like unable to like stay up to do it. But like I like to watch it the day after. Like I'll just like watch the VOD and like I'll listen to him that way. But yeah, like TMR is pretty good. Like I was definitely inspired by him like when like putting together this channel and stuff. How am I watching the finale? So like I'm watching it on my phone. Got it right here. I'm gonna watch it on my phone. Again, you can, Paramount Plus is a good option, or if you have like cable and stuff, or like whatever. Again, I am not gonna be showing the finale on stream. Like you, whatever way you choose, like you're gonna have to find your own way of watching it. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna be watching it, and I'm gonna have it right here. Um, anything else? Do you prefer Cambodia, Millennials versus Gen X, or David versus Goliath? David versus David versus Goliath is the best. I mean, I know it's a bit of a basic response, but I feel like it's just the most consistent season. Like Millennials versus Gen X is pretty good. I actually did a rewatch of it pretty recently. I mean, it's definitely a season that holds up, and it definitely has like one of the best post merges gameplay wise. But I think David versus Goliath is definitely a better all around season and a more consistent season throughout. All right, let me just get it tuned up. This is so exciting. All right, we are ready to go. All right, any last minute thoughts before the show starts? The best shot in the dark in Survivor history is the Sydney Boo. If she voted Evie, yeah, that's true. Like, yeah, the first time the shot in the dark was ever used to hit actually mattered in the vote. But yeah, that merge vote was very crazy. It's sort of weird because like in the new era, like excluding like the post merge, like so many of the great pre merge rounds from the new era have all been because of these twists. Where it's obviously like the 41 like merge round. It's like obviously Sydney goes out because of the shot in the dark, and you also have the hourglass, which obviously impacted the targets and everything. Like really, it was twists that made that round as insane as it was. And then you have in 42, you had the Jenny round, which was also like largely dependent on twists, where it wasn't for twists, it would have just been like a pretty straightforward vote, like 4-2, Lydia goes home. But because you have like both Mike and Chanel losing their votes, and like the fact that they don't realize it, and obviously you have High flipping his vote because he wants like a perfect voting record or something, like you obviously have the whole deadlock, but it's like again, it was twists that perpetuated that. And again, that's one of my issues with like the new era is like because there's no swaps, like it really like limits the options for like who can be voted out. And like we saw like more often than not, it was like consensus votes during like the pre-merge. And a lot of these new era seasons have been just waiting for the post-merge for things to get more interesting. So it's like, yeah, that's one of my issues there. Millennials versus Gen X. Yeah, that's true. Like personally, I'm not much of a Smosh fan, but yeah, like I know people were devastated. All right, the show's coming on. So, oh my god, they're literally just recap. They're not even like talking about it. They're just showing the idol play again. Like they're not even like weaving it in. They're just showing the. Okay, so they're showing Cody handing the idol back. Hourglass twist is the worst twist because yep. Oh yeah, like Hourglass twist is like one of the worst twists in Survivor history. Yeah, they're just showing the tribal. No, I can't share my screen. So again, like you're you're gonna have to find your own way to watch it. Like I can't show on stream, like because like they might shut it down. But yeah, like I'll definitely give the play by play as it happens. But you'll need to like find your own way of watching it. Oh my god, Gabler. All right, so he's talking about being the assassin. Again, I don't take much weight in the like. Again, they're probably just gonna do like a intro confessional for like each person. Like, yeah, they're just like hyping themselves for why they can win. Like these confessionals don't mean too much. All right, Owen's just talking about being an underdog, and now he has to be perfect. Like, okay, all right, Jesse's talking. All right, that's a nice view. All right, Cassidy's talking. She was on the right side of every vote. Is it useless to send the 5 remaining players into a new beach? I mean, yeah, it is useless. Like, there's really no point to it. But I mean, it's like a nothing thing. It's like whatever. Like you do it just to do it. But yeah, it's pretty useless. All right, and Carla's struggling. Oh wow, we're getting some new members in the Discord server. Yeah, thanks for Flynn Masters, Hazel Sister, LT026052. Yeah, thanks for joining the Discord server. All right, not much is happening yet. Yeah, Gaylor's just talking about like them being on a new beach. I will say Gabler's been pretty fun. Like I've been like on the Survivor subreddit, and like he's been doing like these random meetups with like people. Like it's just so funny to me. But yeah, like Gabler's like fun. I think Gabler would be a lot of fun to meet in real life. All right, so it's literally the same. It's literally the same challenge that they did in 41 42, where they had to unscramble the thing to get a challenge advantage. All right, they're probably gonna make a big meal out of this and then like sloppily edit it together. All right, they're just solving the clue. All right, so Carla's the first to get the clue. She's the first to get the phrase. So I am wondering, like, is it possible to just like get up when someone else gets up and just start searching for it? Like do like I'm guessing there's someone that has to like check to see that they actually got the phrase before they get up. All right. Anyone have? All right. Carla's looking for it. Owen's looking for it. Owen does not want Carla to get it. You know, I was just thinking about this. Like, I could say Owen winning out, or at least winning the final four. Like, because we obviously on 41, 42, like, you had Xander winning final immunity in 41, and you have Romeo winning final immunity in 42. It's like you have like the zero vote finalist getting like final immunity, and like, so that made me think, like, could Owen just like win that challenge? Like, just a thought. Like, all right, they're just showing where can I stream this? There's a number of places you could do it. I'm sure if you really want to, you could find it. Like, again, like Paramount Plus. Like if you have like a VPN, like you could try using it. But yeah, like you're gonna have to like I'm sure like if you search online, like you could find ways of doing it. Admittedly, I'm not great at like finding like alternative ways of like watching like US live. Like obviously like there are ways you can watch like Australia and South Africa live, but like I'm not versed in like US. All right, Carla has the advantage. All right, Carla got the challenge advantage. Oh my god, that's a bad confessional. Like Owen just like, oh, I just missed it. It was just inches away. Yeah, I was talking about how close he was to getting it. Like, yeah, pretty much like encapsulates and that's pretty much Owen's entire game. I, oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, he should. Yeah, man, the Charlie. He's using the Charlie Brown analogy again. Well, as Jeff once said, close get to nothing in this game. I think Carla is having a Lindsay Final Five edit. You think Carla has the? You think Carla has the Lindsay edit? I think if anything, Cassidy has the Final Five edit. Yeah, yeah, I think that's Owen's fate too. All right, it's commercial break. All right, got turned down. I hate commercials. Like I'll just say it. Like I'm literally the person who will mute the TV like whenever it goes commercial. Like I just cannot stand them at all. So yeah. All right. She'll lose the immunity despite having the advantage because she focused on having the advantage because she has nobody and is at the bottom, which is bad. Again, I don't think Carla's winning the immunity challenge. Like I think if anything, it'll definitely come down to like Cassidy. Like Cassidy will like they'll definitely like present it as like Cassidy like either winning it or like being very close to winning it. And obviously that'll factor greatly into the into what happens at the vote. Hey Bryce, glad you can make it. But yeah, how's everyone doing tonight? Yeah, like I'm live streaming for once. I did live stream before, like but it's been a while. Like I haven't live streamed since the 42 finale. Like and before that, the only other time was like after the BB Can finale. Like I usually like to do it like only during like the finales, like because obviously it's like during the season. Like I try to like pay attention more like during the season to like figure out contenders and stuff. But it's like when it's the finale, it's like I feel like at that point, like the expectations are like already like so set in stone. So who do you think is winning? Well, that's what we're here to find out. We'll know within 3 hours who the winner is. But I think if we're talking purely win equity, um I would say I'm gonna say 50% Jesse, 50% Jesse, 40% Cassidy, and then 10% Gabler. Like I know there's like so many red flags over Jesse losing the fire making challenge, but it's like again, like I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Like I'm trying very hard. Like I'm not in the trap of like thinking Jesse's got a one. Like there is still a very real chance that he goes out due to fire, but I don't know. I have a more open mind. Like I like see this as like wide open, but I think the final five. I think this first round in the finale is going to really dictate a lot over what's going to happen here. Carla's biggest flaw being passive from the merge, so she got no control on who goes home at this point. Yeah, that's a great point. So it's like Carla like had a great game. Like she had a good pre-merge where it's like she was in the core for a lot of it, but yeah, like ever since the merge, like and I know TMR pointed this out in his stream, but yeah, like Carla's like post merge was like really lackluster where it's like she was very rarely in control of things, and even then, she voted out James, of course, and then she come on in. I always like to shout that, like, so like my mom is like she's like a casual Survivor fan, and she's like a casual Survivor fan, and like she was like one of those people that like made such a big deal like when like the whole like coming in guys thing was like going on. Um yeah, so like ever since like I just made it a whole point like whenever Jeff says it to like come on in. So I don't know, I'm weird like that. Oh my god, what was I gonna say? Oh yes, Carla. So like yeah, so she like votes out like James, right? Like that doesn't really benefit her game that much. Like she's targeting Cassidy. It's like that's not great. And it's like she isn't really in, like too much control beyond that. Like she really just gives up a lot of control to like Cody and Jesse, who pretty much dominate that post merge. All right, so they're just doing the challenge now. To your opinion, which player of season 44 might be worthy of attention? So I literally had the Inside Survivor thing open earlier. So let's look at it. Yeah, because like I personally haven't paid that close attention to it. Let's look at these tribes here. So Tika, we have we have Carolyn, Helen, Sarah, Bruce, Carson, and Yam Yam. Um. Okay. I don't know. Bruce. I kind of like Bruce. Just off the offset, I think Bruce could be interesting. Um. Sarah could be interesting. Helen could be interesting. I don't know. I like Helen. She could be interesting. Again, I don't have that great opinions on these people. Oh wait. Oh, we finally got Matt from San Francisco on here. We finally got a picture of Matt from San Francisco. Yeah, that was a running joke on the TMR stream. Anyway, so Ratu, we have Brandon, Kane, Matthew, Jamie, Lauren, and Maddie. Um, I don't know. I think Matthew could be interesting. I like Matthew. Brandon could go either way. I mean, like literally, it's so funny the recent history of like NFL players, like because like on one hand you have like Alan Ball who essentially got swap screwed on one hand, and then you have Danny on the other hand who obviously does like really well, like really like I wasn't super high on Danny coming to 41. Like I felt like he was gonna at least make the merge, like but then be targeted. But like he definitely impressed me. And it's like the fact that he like wasn't even seen as that big of a physical threat, and he was only taken out due to being like a social threat and like a overall jury threat was really interesting on his end. So like, but Brandon, like I don't know, like I think he could go either way. And then like for like the women, like I guess Jamie could be interesting. I guess. And then Soka. So who do we have here? We have Claire, Franny, Heidi, Danny, Dr. Joshua, and then we have Matthew. Um um I think Heidi I think Heidi could be interesting. Franny could be interesting. I guess Danny could be something. I don't know. Like again, I don't like form too strong opinions based on like these like pictures. Like we're literally just looking at pictures here. Like I guess like some people like snoop on their social media and stuff, but again, like we'll have to like see more like once like the actual preseason comes out, like we actually hear these people talk. But I don't know, like if I'm just going purely off like appearances, that's probably what I'm thinking. Um Sammy's biggest flaw, sheep his way until the Noel boot because he never commanded who goes home, he just followed the majority, and when he suggests him names it backfires on him. Um I mean, he definitely played. I mean, I think he like was like trying to actively play the middle, like, and he like it's hard to say just like how much control he really had in the grand scheme of things, but it's like he definitely was like getting information from a lot of people for a lot of the game, which is pretty interesting. Yeah, and it's just like him being caught playing the middle that did him in. Um, um, all right. Yeah, I haven't even paid attention to the challenge. What's on what's on here? Yeah, like yeah, I'm not even like paying attention to the. Yeah, I didn't even realize I had the Discord screen. Yeah, so I do apologize for that. Remember that one challenge when Danny kept thinking he was right on the slide puzzle, even though he was way off? Yeah, that was really funny. If Carla wins, Cassidy is dead. Yeah, that is possible. Okay, so Owen's starting to get momentum here. Oh wow. All right. So Owen has won Final Five immunity. Pretty good. Yeah, so okay, so like I did say earlier that Owen had a shot at winning out. Well, he's done one part of that. Bye bye, Carla. You think Carla's going out? I mean, again, I think it's certainly between Carla and Cassidy here. It's just a matter of which one. Again, I personally think Jesse would be better off targeting Cassidy here, but Again, we'll have to see what happens. Owen did what? He won immunity. He won immunity. All right, he took Cassidy on the reward. All right. All right, so Owen's got this confessional. Like, I mean, they are certainly setting up like Owen wanting to target Carla here. I mean, who has the most immunity wins so far? I think it's Cassidy. Like, because Cassidy has what, like 2 or 3 at this point. I assume it's Cassidy. Or True Dork Times. Yeah. Oh, it's Owen. I didn't realize that. Yeah, because I know Cassie has a couple, and obviously Owen. Like, I know he at least won the last gasp with Carla. Okay, so Owen has the most. Okay. Yeah, I tend to lose track of like immunity. Like, I'm really bad at like challenge statistics, like who has like the most immunities and stuff. Like, who do you think is the better winner, Erica or Marianne? Uh, I would probably say Erica. If I had to pick between the two, because like, yeah, like Eric, like at the time, like I wasn't that impressed with Erica's win, but I think as we have learned more after the season, like I think Erica was definitely more insulated in the game than I gave her credit for, because like obviously when we watched the show at the time, like it was just like I thought like, okay, Erica would be like the first boot if they ever Luvu ever went to tribal, but we have learned since then that like, yes, while like they did target her at one point, like really it's like that eventually got turned around to where had they gone to tribal, Deshaun would have targeted Sydney over Erica. Whereas like with Marianne, it's like, yes, like Marianne does technically survive a tribal in the pre-merge over like Mariah. But if they had gone to another tribal, I would have very much worried for Marianne. Like I think Marianne probably would have been voted out had they gone to another tribal. So I think Erica was definitely in a better position throughout the entire game than Marianne. And obviously, like even in the post merge, like I think like Erica was like probably better secured within the majority than Marianne was. And yes, while Marianne probably has like the better individual move in like taking out Omer, like I still think if we're taking their entire games into account, that Erica probably is the better overall game. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Marianne was on the bottom for like way more of the game than Erica was. Yep. Yeah, it's still commercial. So yeah, like so I'm guessing like after we see the tribal, like I'll like open up like the jury scenarios thing again to see like what we got here. Right. I'm really scared Cassidy is gonna win the season. I mean, Cassidy wouldn't be a terrible winner. Like, I mean, she wouldn't be as good as Jesse. Like, and yeah, like compared to like a Jesse winning. Like I would be a bit underwhelmed by a Cassidy win, but I mean it's not like the worst thing in the world either. But I get what you mean. Oh, um, me and Bard are having a heated thing right now. Like, what's happening? Why are you scared? I mean, I'm not scared. All right, show's back on. A Gabler win is our best scenario. I mean, from an entertainment perspective, probably. And I don't think Gabler is even that bad of a winner. Would even be that bad of a winner. I mean, he'd probably be like middle of the pack. I think. I think Owen would. Yeah, Owen would probably be like the worst winner from a gameplay perspective. Like he's not that good. Owen said that Jesse and Carla are the biggest threats, so I don't see why he would target Cassidy over them. I mean, I agree. Like Owen's definitely gonna go for Carl over Cassidy. It's just like whether Owen's gonna get his way or not. Because again, like I think if Jesse really wants to take out Cassidy over Carla, then he would probably use the idol to do so. I mean, there's still a chance that Carla goes out at 5 anyway, but again, like it's just a matter of like whether Owen can actually get his way. Because obviously, I mean, he hasn't had a great track record in that regard. The best defensive play is Devin at Final Five and HHH. Yeah, it's a great, yeah, it's a pretty good move. Like him throwing the vote on the mic, to ensure that like Ben didn't have the sole vote against him in the idol play. Yeah, that's a great play. But at the same time, it's just scary how similar her edit is to Marianne and Erica. It's I don't know, like they're not that similar. Like Cassidy has not been propped up that much compared to them, but I guess like the main thing with like Cassidy is like she still has like some consistency. It's just that I feel like she hasn't been propped up nearly enough compared to Marianne and Erica by that point in the season. It's like Marianne obviously gets full credit for the Omer move, for example. And I feel like even Erica, like by the time of the end game, like she's definitely like more of a focal presence and we're seeing her like more in control more. Whereas I feel like Cassidy is a bit more subdued. I really want to see every vote put on Jesse on Final Five, and he just sends Carl home. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't think Jesse's gonna have all the votes against him like that. I think it'll probably be a situation where Jesse's gonna like see like this war play out between Cassidy and Carla, and he's like he feels like he can choose like which person he wants to go to 4 with. If I was a juror, I would never vote for Owen based on gameplay. Yeah, neither would I. Like his game sucks. Oh my god. Like Gabler kind of makes me laugh sometimes. Oh my god, he's talking about having not having enough in the tank. Like it's literally like episode 2 again for him. Just him like being too tired. Do you think we'll get a better jury this season? I do not. I think this jury will like I think they'll vote for who they think played the best game. Like I know like I didn't mention this earlier, but it's like I know like Cody came off as very upset in like his exit interview, but and I know some people think that he may not vote for Jesse because of that, but I don't see that as the case. Like I think Cody 100% votes for Jesse at the end. Owen is going to be number 8 or 9 in the power ranking. I haven't put together the power ranking yet, so like I'll need to like double check that. Yeah, so like you'll see it like when it comes out, but I mean he's not going to be like super duper high. All right, so Carla's pitching Cassidy to Jesse. Well, Jesse, you might lose fire making. Have you considered that? Just because you want to not lose fire doesn't mean you'll get it. Jesse is safe for final five. Yeah, I don't think there was anyone that really thought Jesse was being taken out five, and really there's no reason why. Unless he like really screws it up, but like he's not screwing this up. Is 0 and 8 or 9? I mean, I haven't decided yet. I mean, let's go through this. So like, I think Jesse's gonna be number one in the player ranking. Like, who knows? Might change. If I had to do it like post hoc right now, 0 and 1. I mean, Jesse 1, Cassidy 2, Gabler 3. All right, Gabler's like talking about the move. If Carla and Cassidy get out fifth and fourth, not gonna check Survivor Twitter for a while. Yeah, that might be a good idea. I mean, I don't know. I don't use Twitter, but I assume like they would not be happy with that. Especially like with all the women like that were voted out across the season. Like, not a great look. All right, so Carla's like talking to Owen about getting out Jesse. Cassidy still hasn't gotten her confessional. This will change my entire life, so I think she makes final four. I mean, that's true, but that's not a guarantee. Well, Owen, you might just be a zero vote finalist. It's a bit too late. Everyone just wants to get at everyone. Well, yeah, that's true. They want to get everyone out except for themselves. All right, Carla's like trying to get Jesse out. Okay, so Carla's like trying to like tell Cassidy that, yeah, Carla's like threatening her jury vote against Cassidy. Like they're really like, oh my god. Also, I think that maybe Cassidy says, this will change my entire life right before Final Five Tribal. Okay. Or right before Final Tribal. That's also possible. I mean, I think Jesse. I don't know. I mean, none of this really matters for Jesse, really, because obviously it's like after this, it's just a matter of who he thinks it can beat at fire or immunity. Okay. All right. All right. So that was quite a bit. So again, I think from a gameplay perspective, it's probably in the best interest of Jesse to vote out Cassidy here. I think again, if we are just looking at strictly from a gameplay perspective, Cassidy is way more likely to win Final Four immunity than Carla is. And that's really what it comes down to. Like the fact that Carla wants to vote out Jesse does not matter at this point because he's going to get to the Final Four. And literally at that point, it's just the fire making challenge. It's literally just winning that last thing that matters. You think Jesse should idle out Carla? I mean, again, I think Carla is more likely to lose that challenge, in my opinion. And I think with that whole like comment, like Carla made it to Cassidy about how she basically just disparaged Cassidy's like game, saying, "Oh, it was you did nothing on Coco. It was just me and James on Coco." Like, I could see that being used against Carla to like lose the game at the end. And yeah, like we know, like Cassidy like mentioned the fact that, oh, I've built all these social bonds and stuff, but if I had to base it purely off the edit, I think Cassidy's edit is more in line with the Final Five boot than Carla is. I mean, I think because of that, I could more easily see Cassidy being the boot here than Carla. Like that's just my like read of things and just my sense of like that's my sense of the edit. And then from a gameplay perspective, like again, like Cassidy's more likely to win final immunity and like just it's just gonna make things harder for Jesse to actually get through that final round. Um she'll throw a rogue vote on DeCarlo like Devin did in HHH. I don't think that's the case. I mean, because they don't know about Jesse's idols. So, like, it doesn't, I don't think that's going to really factor into it because obviously with Devin, it's like Ben had already played like two idols in a row at that point. So, it's like it was not out of the realm of possibility that Ben could just find another idol again. And that would explain like why Devin would do that. But it's like here, it's like I don't think they have any clue that Jesse has another idol, so I don't think that's really gonna cross their minds. Um, yeah, Jesse should play the idol for Carla. Like, I think that's probably gonna be the play. Like, he's gonna do that, idol out Cassidy, because that does two things. Like, again, it has the wow factor of him just whipping out another idol that people had no idea about, and might even impress Janine, I guess. But it also depowers Carla here because obviously Carla would be more of a concern at jury vote than Cassidy if both Jesse and that person were to get to the end. So obviously by saving Carla with the idol, then that obviously weakens Carla's perception because like it's like Jesse saves Carla in that regard. If Carla's idol wasn't flushed last time, would that have helped Jesse's game? No, it wouldn't. Like the whole point of Jesse playing the idol last tribal on Owen was to get Carla to flush her idol, specifically so that his options would be open here. It's specifically so that he could potentially vote out Carla if Carla were the bigger issue. So it's like really putting all the control in that final five vote into his hands. So I think like that's actually part of the genius of the Cody move is that like he does flush Carla's idol. Who is Carla voting for? She's voting for Cassidy. All right, we're now at tribal. I don't know. I think Cassidy makes Final Four. Well, we're about to see. Like, I could be shocked. The whole world could be shocked. If Jesse saves Carla, imagine Gabler and Owen scheme and take out Jesse. Well, I assume that's probably gonna what they're gonna be do regardless. I mean, like I know Gabler is gonna probably take the shot, and Jesse whipped out the idol. So wow, oh my god, Janine's face, like, oh my god, oh Janine, oh my god, Janine's face is hilarious. Oh Janine, oh my god, her mouth's so open. Oh my god. Her mouth is still open. Oh my god. Yeah, that's gonna be on Reddit tomorrow. Oh my god. Yeah, she is so embarrassed. Carla would probably be better at fire making. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess we'll see. I guess, but I obviously if we're going off challenge ability, like Cassidy's been better overall at challenges. So like, I would not count on Cassidy at fire making. But really, I think the bigger threat comes from Cassidy, like putting her and him and Gabler into fire, Jesse and Gabler into fire. Janine is new Eliza, queen of reactions. That's fair. Okay, so are they like going into a live tribal? I'm surprised no one else is getting up right now. Oh yeah, they're talking. Hi, Gabe. Hi, Gabe. Carl, could I talk? All right, so they're pulling in Gabler. Go. Oh, Owen. Owen's the last one to get up. He's in the back of the bus. Yeah, I think that's pretty emblematic of Owen right now. We got a live tribal. I like how last season, whenever a big move happened, Tori would completely spread her arms out like a bird. Yeah. All right, it's time to vote. All right, here we go. It's voting time. You think Carla? All right. Here we go. Time for the vote. All right, Jess is getting out to play the idol. All right, he's just playing it on himself. All right, okay. That's probably the play. I mean, considering he already whipped it out before the votes, like, he was just trying to get that live tribal to, like, use it as leverage. All right, first vote, Jesse. Does not count. Carla. Well, there goes the perfect game for Jesse. All right, Carla. All right, it is Carla. Oh dear. That definitely again, I think that complicates things for Jesse in terms of winning immunity at least. I mean, I don't think Jesse's going to be against Cassidy and Fire unless yeah, I don't think it's going to be Jesse versus Cassidy and Fire per se, but I do think like Cassidy being there like increases the odds that Cassidy wins immunity and increases the odds of obviously like Jesse having to go into Fire against like Gabler or something. But we'll see. Right. I did minimize the tabs just to not be spoiled by chat. Um I told you Carla had a Sammy downfall edit. Yeah, like that Cassidy thing was a bit extreme. Yeah, that was definitely not a good sign there. It's in, folks. Cassidy won the season. Well, hold on. We're not out of the woods yet. Glad Carla gone. I feel it's Jesse versus Gabler Fire. Like, I think that's the most likely outcome. Either Cassidy, yeah, I think that's what it's leading to probably. Because like, if Cassidy wins immunity, then Jesse and she saves Owen, puts Jesse and Gabler in fire. If Gabler wins immunity, he gives up immunity and puts himself in the fire against Jesse. And then if Owen wins immunity, then he obviously saves. I don't know. Does he save Cassidy? No, he would save Gabler in that case. Then okay, then that could lead to a Jesse Cassidy fire making challenge. So like that could be interesting. But again, I think there are definitely more roads that lead to a Jesse Gabler fire. Carl is very annoying. I mean, Gabler perfect game. Hey, it's still alive. It could still happen. Jesse is out next. Yeah, that's a very worrying prospect now, especially with Cassidy still in the game. Uh-oh. Okay. Gabler is the only person not voted out. He's the only person to not get votes. Okay. So, I did want to open up the field again. All right. So, let's look at the jury scenarios again. So, we have Carlo's off the board, right? So, these are off the board. So, what do we have left? We have Cassidy, Gabler, Jesse, not happening. Not happening. We have Cassidy, Jesse, Owen. That could happen if Gabler loses Gabler obviously would need to lose fire. I could see that happening. Like maybe it's like that's what Gabler's whole story arc's been building up to. That'd be hilarious if he like put himself in the fire and lost. But I don't know. I think he's not been a complete goof either. So I don't know. I don't think it's happening. Not happening. Not happening. Not happening. Oh, it's amazing how quickly these scenarios fall away. So really, it's down to these two: Cassidy, Jesse, Cassidy, Jesse. Cassidy, Jesse, Cassidy, Jesse. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? I don't know. But yeah, that was pretty hilarious what happened there with Janine with her idol and stuff. Um Jesse's losing fire because he said that he knows how to make fire when people say that they lose fire. Maybe. We'll have to see. I missed it. I hate myself. Carlos voted out. 4-0, 4-0, I believe, because Carlo voted for Jesse, but Jesse played the idol on himself. That got nullified, and everyone else voted for Carla. Cassidy had more complexity than Gabler and Owen. I don't know. Gabler's gotten a weird edit, but it's not like a completely terrible edit. Like, really, it's like they all have like holes in their edit. So I guess it's kind of a wash. So many foreshadowing. Owen 0 vote finalist. Jesse losing fire. Yeah, I'm very worried about that at this point. I think the final three, Owen, Gabler, Cassidy, was established since the double. It's just editors cut Gabler's confessional when he said he wanted to be in the final three with Owen and Cassidy. Okay. You're sweating so much. It's exciting. Like, I'm actually kind of excited. Like, it's weird because it's like I personally want Jesse to win, but I also know there's like so many things going against it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right, we're back and they're going right into the challenge. All right, so come on in. All right, and it's look. All right, so this is the final immunity from One World, where it's like they're like maneuvering like the pegs through the obstacle course, and they have to stack them. Yeah, this was the final immunity from One World. All right, this is exciting. Cassidy outplayed Jesse in the making to the final three standpoint. Again, we'll see. I mean, again, I think especially with this challenge, I think Cassidy and Owen had the best shot of winning this challenge. Like, I feel like I think they're built pretty well for this type of challenge because it's like very dexterity based. Did Sophie Clark play better in South Pacific or Winners of War? Um, I think she did better in Winners of War. I think she did pretty well in South Pacific, but I feel like she was playing behind coach for a lot of it. Whereas I feel like in Winners of War, she was like more not out in front, but she was like more of like a sole force in that game compared to South Pacific. I put on deodorant today, but I sweat through it. Oh dear. If you could pick three people from this season to come back for All Stars, who would they be and why? If if we're talking about who I think they'll bring back, I think they'll bring back Cody, Ellie, and I think Cody, Ellie, and Carla. They're the three most likely they would actually bring back. But if we're talking about who I would want, I would say Cody, Jesse, Gabler. I know it's a pretty basic response, but I mean that's just how I feel, you know. Who got out? Carlos voted out. Sending my love all the way from the Philippines. Well, thanks for tuning in. Now it's probably morning for you, isn't it? Like, because we have someone from yeah, we have someone from Singapore and it's like morning time for them, so it's probably around that time for you. But yeah, thanks for joining. People will complain how forced fire making Final Four is robbing good players, while without it, Jesse still goes home in Final Four. I mean, I mean, I assume Jesse will be voted out in a normal round. Um. Oh, it's 3 a.m. for you. It's 3 a.m. for you, but I have to know the winner. Oh wow. Um. I mean, it's sort of again. I think it's just pushing the. It's just pushing the boundary. It's sort of like the introduction of the final three, where it's like the whole point of it. Where it's like the whole point of it is to like help better players, like the good players, like get to the end without having to get all the way down to the final two. Although, admittedly, like one upside to the forced fire making is that now makes it so that there's no round that you can't get through without idols. Because obviously, before it's like, obviously, you can't get through the final four without an idol. But now it's like you can just play an idol like up until five. And then, yeah, now you can just get through an idol at five. And then, like, at that point, you're guaranteed at least fire. So at least there's something. I never gamble, but I put a $10 bet on a Gabler win after the Sammy put at 41 to 1. Oh my god. That's some serious odds. I'm hoping Cassidy wins. I think he did get put out of the loop for a little bit, but she was my winner pick from the beginning, and I personally think that she played a brilliant game. I mean, it's not a bad game. Like, she was definitely in control for a decent chunk of it, but I do think Jesse played a better game. Cassidy's the only player changing Jesse's mind. I mean, I think Jesse just he probably just naturally saw Carl as a bigger threat. I mean, so I don't know. Oh wow, Jesse's in it. Jesse's in the thick of it. Yeah, so it's pretty much between Owen and Cassidy right now. Oh wow. Gulp. Big gulp. I hope Cassidy pulls a Chris Underwood against Jesse if she wins immunity. I I don't know, does she do that? I don't know. I don't know. I think she would probably entrust Gabler to do the job, or Owen, I guess. I I don't think she does it personally. Oh wow. That's rough. Yeah, one could say that. Yeah, this is not looking good for Jesse. This is not looking good. All right. Cassidy won immunity. Big Glizzy. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, I think this definitely causes Cassidy to shoot up in contention. All right, so let's go back to the scenarios here. All right, so what do we have here? So we have this scenario, which I think is looking increasingly likely. I think this one could between Gabler and Cassidy. Though again, I think now with the fact that Gabler doesn't have the ability to put himself in the fire, I think that definitely takes away some win equity from him. I think that definitely takes away like his whole argument of him making a big move. So I think that does lean more towards Cassidy winning in this scenario. And then what do we have here? We definitely have this scenario as well. I mean, again, this would obviously require her to put Owen into fire. That's yeah, so it's really just who she chooses to send in the fire against Jesse. I think that's definitely a big factor there. And then we have wait, where's the Owen? Yeah, yeah, so this is the one where Gabler goes into fire and loses. So again, I don't think this one's very likely. I think Owen will probably beat Jesse in fire. Really, I think Jesse could very well be screwed here. So that'll be interesting to see. It's commercial right now. Cassie crying. That's a powerful girl boss moment. I can't lie. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something. Cassidy is guaranteed a spot in the final three unless she throws herself in the fire. I don't think she's throwing herself in the fire. I think she's going to take the win. I think she's going to pretty much. I think she's going to pretty much hope that Jesse loses fire. And I think even outside that, I think she's confident enough in her game to where she could argue it regardless. I think she would much rather just take it and play it safe and then hope that Jesse loses fire. Bye, Jesse. Yeah, this ain't looking good. I think the only time an immunity winner throws himself into fire is if they came back from the edge. I mean, again, I think Gabler could have thrown himself into fire. I think it definitely takes a certain person to do it. And I think the edge is one of those cases. Like, really, I think it comes down to like if you think that it would be the thing that pushes you over the edge. And that's why I don't think Cassidy will do it. I think Cassidy is confident enough in her game. I mean, we've seen her talk confidently about her game in confessional. So, like, I don't think she's going to do it simply be on that fact. I think she feels certain enough to talk about her game to a jury already to where she wouldn't feel the need to do that. But obviously, she can't get to the end with Jesse. That would obviously be a pretty big knock. Like Natalie must have done to win a jury vote. Yeah, again, I don't think she'll do it though. Owen versus Gabler fired. That's not happening. Jesse is screwed. Good job, Cassidy. Again, we'll see what happens. But it's not looking great. Will the reunion be shortened because the fire making and final trial will be so long? It it even before fire making, it usually goes like past like the 10 o'clock mark anyway. So like I don't think that's a big concern. Like, but yes, I do think it'll probably go a bit past 10 o'clock. I don't think. I think the reunion will probably be like 45 minutes at most. Like I don't think it'll go the full hour. Um. All right, so it's back for commercial, by the way. Cassidy is gonna win. We'll see. Reddit is bashing Cassidy. Are they really? Like, do they not like Cassidy? I mean, I don't see them loving Cassidy, but they're really bashing her. I mean, I guess like if Jesse loses, like then they're worried. They can bash her all she wants. She ate so hard that she broke the glass plate. If it's okay, so is it gonna be Owen versus Jesse? Is that what we're getting? Three sleepers in final three. Just joining live stream. Hello, hey David. It's nice to see you. I mean, if it's Owen and Jesse and Fire, then Jesse could win that. Like based on this edit, like this could be a case where it's like this wraps up Owen's storyline. Maybe. I do think Gabler beats Jesse and Fire though. If Gabler loses Fire, he goes home with 0 votes. Still a perfect game. Let's go. Well, I guess that's technically true. I guess in the same way that like Sugar has had a perfect game on Gabon, 0 votes against her, then 0 votes at Final Tribal. Poor Jesse. Well, maybe you shouldn't have let Cassidy win. Okay, so now Jesse's trying to get Cassidy to throw herself in the fire. Again, she's not gonna take this. Like I don't think she'll take it. How the tables turned. Probably. I feel Gabler's getting his scoop in Philippines where he gets no votes for then having one jury vote. That's I mean, maybe if Gabler's on the jury, then he could get 1 vote. Oh boy. Here's oh yeah, this is the confessional that TMR was talking about. The one challenge. Like, yeah, this ain't good. This ain't good. Alright, so Cassidy's like talking to Gabler about making fire. Jesse better pull off a Ben. Who knows? Well, he technically can't throw himself. I mean, I guess he could just volunteer, but okay. So another strange thing is like Gabler, like it's obviously been like a theme, like that, like Gabler's been like the pride and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe if Gabler loses fire, that could be like the explanation, like because Gabler is like running on fumes. But it's like I don't know. Gabler's gotten like a pretty positive edit. Like I think they really wanted to focus more on the big move side of things. But it's also like he can't win at this point because again, I think the game winning move was like him winning immunity and then putting himself in the fire if that was going to be anything. But it's like just winning the fire making challenge isn't going to be enough. All right, so we're about to go to commercial here. I love Gabler, but please don't win fire. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Maybe Gabler has more friends on the jury. Yeah, that's the main thing. Like that's why I keep giving Gabler a shot. Like because it's weird because like we do know that Gabler has like positive relationships. Like people do like Gabler. It's just that like the sense I got from him in the exit interviews is like they like him, but they don't really respect him. Like his whole reputation is that like of like this sweet old guy, like this guy who they like, but they don't really see him as like that good of a game player. Even though really like his game itself wasn't that bad, but it's like that's like contributed to me thinking that realistically he doesn't have the best shot of a jury vote in the world. But who knows? Like maybe like there's like more that we're just not seeing. Cassidy is the first female newbie since Chrissy to win final for immunity. Yeah, because so what do we have? 36 we had Dominic winning final immunity. David versus Goliath, we had it was Nick. Yeah, it was Nick. 38 it was Chris Underwood. 39 no Nora. Yeah, like Nora won final immunity in Island of the Idols. And that was like the whole thing because like she put Lauren into fire and like that was like why she got so upset. So but yeah, it's like more often than not like men have won like final immunity at least in the newbie seasons. Um I will step inside a fire. Oh, well that's a little extreme. You probably shouldn't do that. I am about to be upset. I hope Gabler throws himself in the fire, then wins. Then the final three is Cassidy, Owen, Gabler. Then odds are already in Cassidy's favor. Okay. I think inherently, yes, that's the case. Did someone get out? No, we are at the commercial. We're about to go to tribal. We're going to get to the fire making challenge. I feel Gabler is going to be depicted as an emotional player, as a loose cannon, like in the pre merge and fake merge. Like, I mean, that could be his perception. Like I could definitely see like Janine like not looking too favorably on Gabler. It's like I think they I think they just don't respect Gabler's gameplay that much. Like they just see him as like again this old guy who is like there for the experience, like is a bit wacky at points. He hasn't actually played that chaotically outside like the Ellie round. But there's that. Gabler or Owen going to get that second place money after taking out Jesse, LMAO. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. If Jesse wins, I'm going to get up and scream in joy. You do that, Bryce. You do that, Bryce. Cassidy will be the first winner since Ben to receive 5 votes to eliminate. Yeah, that's true. Uh, oh, hi there. Howdy. I'm about to throw my computer. Oh my god. So like you're gonna throw your computer and then you're gonna step into the fire. Probably a bit extreme. Just a little extreme. right, we are now getting to tribal. Ooh, it's so exciting. It's so exciting. All right. I'm about to burn down a preschool if Jesse loses. Again, a bit extreme. And that will be the fire I step in. Yeah, if Jesse loses here, then it's like all those people that said that Jesse had this in the bag. It's like that's gonna be like it's gonna be a little funny. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like if Gabler gets out, Jesse and Fire in the final three will be Gabler, Cassie, Owen. I think the only person that Gabler would be able to in the vote for him in the end would be like Ryan. Yeah, yeah. Again, I did say that like Ryan was like his one locked vote. Here's how I see it playing out: 4 votes Gabler, Sammy, Noel, Janine, Ryan. I don't know. I don't know about Janine. I mean, Janine. Again, I think Janine votes Cassidy in that case. In fact, she's probably more likely to vote for Owen in that case than Gabler. Sammy. Again, I think Sammy votes for Gabler. I mean, for Cassidy. I mean, Noel. Noel's probably a vote for Owen. Or at least she would be a vote for Owen if like she was just voting for like who she likes the most. But I think she recognizes that Owen wouldn't win. But yeah. 4 votes Cassidy, Carla, Cassidy, Jesse, Cody. Yeah, yeah, I think those would be the votes there. I don't see Sammy voting Gabler. Well, neither do I. Yeah, I don't think Sammy looks at Gabler as this great player. I think he probably thinks Cassie's played the better game. All right, we're just doing the tribal. I think Janine would vote for Cassidy because Cassidy was the only person to vote. Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. Again, I think in a Cassidy, Gabler, Owen final three, Janine votes for Cassidy. They got to stop with the new era winners edit. Honestly, I don't mind. I don't mind this edit too much because again, like I mean, yes, it's been like hard for me to predict and stuff, but it's like I don't mind the fact that they're trying to humanize these people more. Like if I'm being honest, like if I were ever on Survivor, like I wouldn't want to be presented as like this one-dimensional like villain or something. And I think that's part of why like they made that shift too. It's like because like like there was more of a focus about how like edits like that can like have an effect on like players outside the game. Like it like rubs over into like their real life reputation and stuff. But everybody wanting to be in fire except Cass and Jesse. Well, oh yeah, that's true. Has Jesse said the if I do this I will win the game? Yeah, he did. Okay, so it's Gabler versus Jesse. They just made the decision. It's Jesse versus Gabler in fire. Yeah, I think Gabler should win this. Though I could see again, based on the edit, I could see a world where just Gabler loses this. Like with the focus on him like wanting to make a big move and with him like talking about how he hasn't had a ton of food, like I think regardless this is the culmination of his storyline, like him going for the shot here. Again, I think inherently if like I think just looking at them, I assume Gabler would be better at fire and should win against Jesse. But again, I think again I could see this going either way. Like I'm gonna pick right now. I think Gabler wins, but again, who knows? If there is a Gabler will win because we saw Jesse having a flame while Gabler got 0 flame before the tribal council. If there is a jury vote between Cassidy and Gabler, Owen 100% votes Gabler, wins. I mean, does he though? I mean, I'm not sure about that. Like, I don't know. I think again, I think it comes back to Gabler's like reputation throughout the season, where it's like, again, people like Gabler, but it's like I don't think they respect his game that much. And again, it's not as if I think Owens played like a bad game or anything, but it's like I think Owen would vote for Cassidy over Gabler. I think Owen would much rather I think he would feel a lot more comfortable with having Cassidy being the winner of the season than he would Gabler being the winner of the season. Gabler said at the Noel booth that Jesse is a big threat, so it's a clue that leads to a Jesse downfall. Yeah, that's why I thought Jesse was going to be booted at Final 7, because I thought that was foreshadowing for like the next episode where it's like the big move was going to be this Jesse blindside. But again, like I think it was definitely like the edit was definitely leading to like Gabler potentially making this move against Jesse. It's just a matter of whether it's going to be effective or not. And I mean, again, I personally think Gabler will win this fire making challenge, and this is probably going to be the one. This is probably going to be like the big thing that he talks about in his jury speech. Gabler done nothing. No, he hasn't. Like he did technically vote out. I mean, he was technically the main force behind the Ellie vote, and since then, like he's voted in the majority more often than not. Gabler just joining chat. And my phone is crapped out for some reason. Oh my god. Cuts out at the worst possible time. Yeah, my my feed cut out for a moment, so like I was just worried, but it's back now. I'm also gonna minimize the screen during the fire making challenge. Like I don't want to be spoiled. Like again, and hopefully with the lag, like you won't be spoiled either. That's gonna be my goal here. But again, once we see the challenge, I'm just gonna minimize it, and like I'm not gonna see chat for like the fire making challenge. Like I do want to see it. I want to see how it plays out. Owen to win. I don't think so. Of the six, Owen deserved the title. Sure, I guess. Gabe will probably be like, for this whole game, I received no votes against me. Now is your chance to write my name. I don't think he's gonna. I mean, he might say that, but I think his big selling point is gonna be this. If he wins this fire making challenge, that'll be his selling point. Okay, so it's back. We're about to start the fire making challenge. Again, I'm not looking at chat. I'm just gonna watch this. Goo. I wonder if he'll bring up Becky and Sandra fire making challenge. All right, Gabler's the first to get a flame. All right, Jesse now has a flame. Gabler seems to have the bigger flame right now. Gabler has a Gabler has some serious stuff going on here. Yeah, Jesse's struggling. Yeah, Gabler's got a decent amount of momentum right now. Yeah, Jesse's kind of struggling, but again, he could just come back. Again, they definitely like to make these fire. Again, they do a good job at like editing these fire making challenges. Like, yeah, Gabler's has been really big for a lot of it. Like Jesse's like really struggling. Oh no, Gabler's gonna win this. Yeah, the music is swelling. Yeah, this is done. Gl- Yeah, big L. All right. 4 minutes and 9 seconds, a new record. Well, I'm sure a decent chunk of the internet just exploded. All these people, they all said that Jesse's got this in the bag. Oh, don't you feel bad for him? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Please don't step in a fire. Please. Please don't burn down his school. It's okay. Yeah, he seems pretty torn up about it. Yeah, that wasn't very close. All right. All right, I'll wait until the commercial break to pull up the chart. And we'll let the. Yeah, they're milking this. I mean, yeah, because of how. Yeah, because. Yeah, the fire making challenge is really quick, so they gotta take some time here. Cody smiling and giggling on the jury bench. Yeah. Um. Jesse got it what he deserved. Again, I think for sure the mistake. It's hard because like again, I said that like it would have been better to vote out Cassidy in the spot because Cassidy was more likely to win final immunity, and that in turn increases the chance of the worst case scenario of like him going to fire against Gabler. Whereas I feel like with Carla, like yeah, there's still going to be a chance that like he would have gone into fire against Gabler, but I feel like there would have been more of an out for him, like winning, like particularly with the immunity outcomes, like because like obviously if Owen wins immunity, then he goes in the fire against Cassidy more than likely. Actually, no. Actually, maybe I don't know because I think Owen recognizes that Gabler is someone he has a better shot of beating in a jury vote than Cassidy. But he also recognizes that Jesse would have been the bigger jury threat. So like I don't know, like I think either way, Jesse would have been in a lot of trouble, like, and it really would have had to come down to it. But it's simply due to Cassidy, like, being way more likely to win that final immunity challenge that would have resulted in him, like, getting that worst case scenario. But if we are looking at Jesse, like, again, he played a great game. He's he's debatably the best final juror in Survivor history. Like, again, I think he definitely played like one of the more dominant games. Like, I think he's for sure better than Rodney. Oh my god, they're really propping him up here. Oh, Jesse. Again, I think he's better than Rodney. The question then becomes, is he better than like Suri and or Devin? I think he was more out of I don't know. I think he's definitely in that conversation for best final juror. So there's that. Let's get caught up in chat here. What happened to Carla? She was voted out of 5. Peridium and Once Upon an Island are having meltdowns because they said there's no way. Yep, yeah, pretty much. Like, I haven't watched Peridium or Once Upon an Island's videos like about the season, but I was informed that they believe Jesse was the runaway favorite, and I think RHAP said it too, because I think they said it too. But yeah, like I had a lot of hesitance. I had a lot of hesitancy here. Twitter is crying for Jesse. Wow, I didn't expect that. Well, well, that's fair. So it's Cassidy, Owen, and Gabler final 3. Yep, that's the final 3. He's the best new era player. Yeah, I think so. I think Jesse is probably the best new era player. I don't get why anyone cares about Jesse. He didn't even have. He just stole someone else's idol. Like, again, Jesse played a very strong game. Like, he was in he dominated his pre-merge tribe. Like, although from what we understand, if Vessi had gone to another tribal, he would have been in some trouble there. So you could take that or leave it. But then, like, again, like at the merge, like he and Cody take control and they dominate because of that. Like, and I do think now looking back, the Cody move was probably a good thing for him. Like, I think we still need more information about like whether or not he beats Cody at the end. And obviously, like, that will in turn like make people like recontextualize a little bit, but we'll see what happens there. Cass is the winner. I think she's the most likely winner. I want Gabler to win. Jesse is great, fan favorite. How do you compare Jesse to Suri? I think the thing with Suri is she Suri was a lot more screwed over because like she obviously was playing the game like it was a final 3, and it was supposed to be a final 3, and it was only due to James like getting medevac at the final 7 that made them that screwed up the production cycle and like made them switch it to a final 2 that really screwed her over at that point. Whereas like Jesse, it's like obviously like he knew from the beginning that he would have to go into fire, and he knew he would have to go into that fire making challenge. So like I think that's a bigger knock you can point to than Suri. But I also think Jesse was more of a sole dominant force on the season, where it's like, yes, it was Jesse and Cody, like they were like working together for a lot of the game. But I do think Jesse got his way more often than Cody. So like I think to that end, like Jesse was more of a out in front. Whereas like even with Suri, it's like she was obviously like a pretty strong player and a pretty powerful force, but it's like a lot of it again, and TMR did a great job at explaining this in like his final juror video, but it's like he explains in that video that like Suri and Parvati were like they did a lot of things together and a lot of their moves were like shared credit. Whereas I feel like in this case, Jesse was like acting more on his own, and I think there are more individual moves that Jesse did on his own compared to Suri. So like, I don't know. Like, I think it's a toss up. I think I would probably give Jesse the edge potentially. Again, I could see it going back and forth a little bit, but I think they each have their pros and cons. Who won fire? Gabler won fire. Why do people like Jesse? I mean, he's a family man. Um, okay, so I think now I'll switch it over to the screen here. All right, so here's our final three here. Let's make sure we can all like you guys can see it. So this is what we got here. It was the number 2 scenario on the board. We got Cassidy versus Gabler versus Owen. I think Janine votes for Cassidy here. I think James should be a vote for Cassidy. Sammy should be a vote for Cassidy. Carla, I still think Carla votes for Cassidy. I mean, I know she said that like James and Carl, like that whole comment, the final five, but again, I think that was more just a way of guilting her. Obviously, that I don't think that's how she actually feels. All right, we're back from commercial. We're gonna get the day 26 fluff. Doesn't matter too much. Okay, I guess the question then becomes like, I think Jesse and Cody, I think they vote for Cassidy as well. So like, I think they win. I think that is enough to give Cassidy to win here. So at least 6-2, 6 votes there. The question is, what do Ryan and Noel do? Because I do say in this video that they vote. Obviously, Ryan votes for Gabler here. I think we obviously had that rivalry between Cassidy and Ryan. And yes, Cassidy does get the one up over Ryan, but and to be fair, like Ryan could respect that to where like she does vote for Cassidy. Are we getting? Okay, so Owen's just doing the segment thingy. All right, so Owen's just talking about being an underdog. Doesn't really matter. I guess the question is, what do Ryan and Noel do? Do they vote based on their conscience or their relationships? Again, we're doing the jury speaks thing. I don't pay too much credence to that. Like, this is just like set up for like the final, I guess. Okay, so I think Noel, I could legitimately see voting for Owen. I think, and I think Ryan maybe votes for Gabler. I don't think Gabler beating Jesse at Fire means too much at this point. Like I don't think because like again, I feel like the one scenario where Gabler wins, the one way in which this would have been like a powerful move is if he put himself into fire after winning immunity. He had the sole fate in his hands. I don't think this works as well. Like now that we've seen it play out, I don't feel as confident that he'll actually win the jury vote. Again, I think he could get that vote, but that's pretty much it. So so yeah, we'll see what happens. So right now we're just getting the jury speaks part. So yeah, they're just focusing on each person and like what they need to do. Um Carlo will vote for Cass. I think so. I think Ryan is lock Gabler vote. Again, I think he leans Gabler. I don't think he's a likely Cassidy vote. Right. Just waiting for final trouble. It would be pretty neat though, like to have three female winners in a row, like especially like with that whole stretch from HHH to Winners of War, like six men in a row winning. So yeah, I think that's definitely a cool element to that if Cassidy wins. Do you think all girls alliance will run 44? I don't know. Like I don't know these people well enough to say that. Jesse sticking with Gabler would have been a Dom and Wendell story. I don't know about that. I mean, it could have been. I think if they had gone, I think they could have gone to four together. But then, literally, if anyone other than them won immunity, they would have gone to fire against each other. I think that's would have been their fate in that situation. Like they would have obviously needed, or even then, like Cody would have needed to win final immunity because I think Jesse would have cut Cody. So it would have been an interesting situation. All right, so now they're getting to final tribal. Did we have so far a dishonest juror in Survivor history? Like they voted someone just for trolling? Um, I mean, there's definitely like unexplained jury votes, but I'm not aware of like anyone voting just for the lols. I think I think like the jury votes have generally been for something genuine, whether it's like a positive or negative emotion. Yes, we are just getting to final tribal. Fabio Berta, definitely best winner. Sure, why not? Alrighty. We're going back to commercial. All right. Um, is All Stars the most bitter jury, or is Samoa or Heroes versus Villains? I think All Stars was definitely one of the. I think All Stars is probably the answer because there was a lot of like interpersonal stuff happening. Like, obviously, a lot of these people knew each other from outside of the game, and we saw like that with the like those like three anti Rob votes, like with like Lex was obviously very burned by Rob. Then you have like Tom. Yeah, Tom was also really burned, and also Alicia was very burned as well. Like that was definitely a very personal thing for them. Like, and I think a lot of that was motivated by the fact that this was an all-star season and all these people knew each other. Samoa, like, yeah, there were people upset at Russell, but I think like there were certainly people like that were voting for Natalie as well. I mean, All Stars, like you had Sheehan voting for Amber, but I mean that was like the only vote there. Like I think like there was definitely like we definitely saw more of Natalie building relationships with the Galoos to where they were like voting for Natalie. And then like Heroes versus Villains, like I do think again, like there were people voting for Sandra. Now, mind you, a lot of that is because she was like the opposition to like the villains. So like they were voting against like the Russell and Parvati side of things. But I think they I think they like Sandra to a degree. Like they definitely respected her to a degree. Fabio blew away all the money he got almost instantly. Yep. Um Samoa Jury wasn't bitter. Russell deserved to lose. Like, I mean, yeah, like I could see that. Again, like I think All Stars is probably the answer to that question. Like, I think there's more you can point to as to why Rob. I think that was more defined by Rob losing the game than Amber winning it. Whereas, like with the others, like you can point more towards stuff like that. Yeah, Kathy did vote for Rob, but she was obviously very burned by him as well, and it was like she still had enough goodwill towards him to like overcome that, but she wasn't happy with it. All right, final travel time. Wow, no one's written his name down. All right, so she's talking about the woman being voted out. I mean, no one's saying what he needs to say, but it's not going to be very effective. Like, they're just not going to respect that game. All right, so Owen's trying to take credit for the vote steal thing at this Jane's round. All right, so Gabler's talking about the LA vote. Yeah, and Janine's like complimenting him. Based on the edit, I don't actually think Cass wins here. Like it's weird though. Like Gabler is like not dead in the edit. Like he definitely has like a consistent storyline throughout the season. Whereas I feel like Cassidy is like really like again like Cassidy like would seem like the conventional winner in a lot of cases, but it's like she like was just again it's like I feel like in another season she would be like my favorite, but it's like her edit's been like more subdued. Like it's like really hard to like feel that confident in her, but it's like picking like a locked vote here. All right, Cassie's talking about building the alliance pre-merge. And they do like Gabler. Like I think this is the first three-member final tribal ever where all three have a chance, in my opinion. I mean, I think Co Wrong had a very interesting final three. I think Michelle had the clearly better edit. Like, but I think you can make a case for Aubrey, Michelle, or Ty. In fact, I actually think this final three actually has a lot of similarities to the Co Wrong final three, which is interesting. Where it's like Cassidy is like, she's like kind of the Michelle, kinda. I mean, they're different games for sure, but edit wise, like it's because they're all horrible players. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't go that far. I don't think Cassidy's that bad. Gabler's interesting. I like how chat's going back and forth. It's like Cassidy for the win, and then Gabler for the win. I'd be shocked if he won. Like, I wouldn't be that shocked. I mean, I think Cassidy probably has the advantage, but again, like edit wise, like it's not impossible for Gabler to win. I think what is underrated from Cassidy is securing a block vote in every tribal council, so it's more difficult for people like Carla and Jesse and Cody to flip on Cass. Like, yeah, Favorite season? My favorite season is Kageon. Like it's just a really fun season. A lot of great characters. A lot of fun gameplay too. So yeah, I'd say Kageon's my favorite. Give me my $410 winnings from my bet Gabler. Sure, why not? Owen said it was the best. I again, it's weird because like he was sort of a narrator for a lot of the season, but it was never something that led to like a full on storyline. Like I guess him just being an underdog to a degree, but I don't know. Like I always got the sense he was being set up to be a losing finalist. So Cassidy's kind of burying Gabler here by saying that Owen, like Gabler, wouldn't have won even if he had won the fire making, while Owen would have won had he gone into fire. So that's interesting. Someone on Twitter is pointing out Noelle sabotaging Cassidy. True or false? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think she's just giving her a fair shot. I mean, I do think Noelle's closer to Owen than anyone else, but I think she likes Cassidy. I don't think she's that opposed to Cassidy. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone bitter per se. It's just trying to figure out whose game they like the most. I don't love how James' head is in between jury and scenario. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Just how the image turned out. Would you go on Survivor? I'm not opposed to it. I mean, I don't think I would do that well on Survivor. Like, it's weird because I played orgs before, and it's like I've done okay at orgs, but it's like I'm not gonna lie, like it would definitely be a lot harder for me to, I guess, present myself in real life compared to online because obviously with orgs it's like you obviously have like time to like type things out, you can hide behind your screen a little bit. I don't know if I would have it to actually present myself well in person for people to a trust me, but also to come up with a reasonable explanation for things on the spot in person. So I don't know how well I would actually do, but I mean I wouldn't mind it. Who's winning? Again, Eileen Cassidy. Cassidy should win this. We were denied of a king, so a queen should represent this season. not jokers, someone on Twitter. Lol. Do you watch Big Brother? Yes, I do. In fact, on my channel, I did coverage during BB24, and I plan to do it next year for BB25. So yeah. So far, there's no bad final tribal council from Owen Gabler. Yeah, I mean they've largely been holding their own here. Yeah, they've been doing okay, I think. Are the votes being read yet? No, they're still talking. Least favorite season? Um I guess Thailand. Like Thailand's like not very fun for the most part. I mean, it has some fun moments in it, but yeah, it's like bad cast, not very interesting gameplay, and it's not very fun. All right, so they're done. All right, they're probably gonna cut the commercial soon. I don't know. Are they really that different game wise? I don't know. I don't know about that, Jeff. All right. So yeah, that happened. I still think Cassie's gonna win, probably. Though again, I mean, that was an interesting enough FTC. No one really blew up their game. So again, I'm probably going to not look at chat while the vote's being read. Like I'm probably going to just like chill, or at least try to like react the best that I can. Cassidy wins in a 6-2 or 7-1. Again, I have my forecast up here for this scenario, so we can compare after this is done. But obviously, this is looking like a 6-1 maybe. Though again, like, who knows? Twitter talking about Gabler realizing he might win is hilarious. Island of the Idols was the most toxic Survivor season. I mean, it's not great. I mean, obviously the Dan stuff is pretty bad, but honestly, it's like even outside of that, it's like the post merge is like kind of boring. It's like it's not the most interesting gameplay in the world. So yeah, it's not a great season either. Think Cassidy might have lost some votes. I don't know. It wasn't that impressive of a jury speech. Okay, yeah, I know. I'm just reporting Twitter stuff here right now, but there's some talk about how Cassidy isn't being respected by the jury. I mean, I think there's definitely good sentiment towards everyone. I think. Again, it's gonna be interesting jury vote, see like who votes for who. But yeah, like this is exciting. Like I'm glad I'm live streaming this. one guy sounds like he has phlegm in his throat every time he speaks, or is it? Are you talking about James? Yeah, like I've noticed that too. Like he kind of has like the same thing that Mike Holloway had, where I mean, Mike Holloway, like half the time, like he sounds like he's been smoking like 12 packs of cigarettes a day, and then the other time he sounds like his normal like huckstery self. So like it's a weird dichotomy there. But yeah, James has a very similar effect where it's like I know like there's like that Gabler Galleon meme on Reddit, but obviously one of the pictures on there is like James next to like a fan. It's like Jane sounds like he's always talking like right in front of a moving fan. That's funny. The edit is in Cassidy's favor. I don't see a sudden Gabe. I don't think it's a sudden Gabler win, but you know, like I think Cassidy inherently wins the jury vote. There's a weatherman interrupting my broadcast. I can't watch it. Oh no. Oh no. All right, this should be fun. Okay. Are we still commercial? Still commercial. Is BB Can 10 your all-time favorite Big Brother season? I don't know about all time, but definitely for Canada, yeah. Like it was a really fun season all the way through. I still think BB 14's my favorite overall season of Big Brother, but yeah, it's definitely up there. Who won? We don't know yet. It's still commercial for me, and they're about to start voting. All right, we now have 100 concurrent viewers, which is pretty crazy. Oh my god, this stupid ghost show. All right, we're back. All right, all right, it's time to vote. Again, I'm probably gonna hide chat for a minute so I can just react. All right, this should be big. All right, James voted for Cassidy. All right, so I got one vote right. Oh, Carla votes for Gabler. In oh, so I guess there was some animosity. Oh wow. Well, that's interesting. Oh, so maybe I don't know, maybe Gabler has a shot here. So if Carla votes for Gabler, does that mean Sammy also votes for Gabler? Like, could Carla have influenced Sammy? Again, I think again, who knows? This could I don't know. Like I could just be overreacting, but again, we'll see what happens. All right. All right, time. All right, time to read the votes. First vote. All right, it's Jane's vote for Get Cassidy. All right, it's Carla's vote. Gabler. Oh, 2 votes Gabler. All right. Woo-hoo. Well, 3 votes Gabler. Oh my god. 4 votes. Wow. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm just I'm just kind of happy. Like, I mean, honestly, I would have been a bit underwhelmed by Cassidy win, but this is so good. All right, I gotta see chat. What's chat saying? Wow. Yeah, what's chat saying? Oh my god, the Gabler Galleon. I can't wait to see that meme. That meme's gonna be epic. I am so happy. Again, it's nothing against Cassidy. I do like Cassidy, but I don't know. Like I know. Again, people are gonna say that this came out of nowhere. I know it. People are gonna say it came out of nowhere. But again, like if you look at the edit was there for Gabler win. I just wasn't entirely sure if it would truly lead up to that. Like I did feel like to a degree that Cassidy was being a bit subdued, but it's like compared to like everyone else, like I just wasn't entirely sure what to make of it. But honestly, like again, with this final 3, like I'm probably the happiest with a Gabler win. And the internet's probably gonna blow up over this. Like, and I know I'm telling you, people are going to say that this came out of nowhere, but I don't think it did come out of nowhere. Like, I mean, there were plenty of points where I doubted it. There are plenty of points where I felt like he was going to be a losing finalist. And even in my jury scenarios video, like I did say that this was one of the scenarios, one of Gabler's better case scenarios. I just wasn't entirely sure where the votes were going to come from. Like again, when I was reading his exit interviews, I had the sense that it was going to be like a Troyzan situation where people like Troyzan, but they just didn't respect his game. They didn't see the game that he played. But I guess I was wrong. I mean, and to their credit, like I think Gabler had a good final trial performance. I think he did a decent enough job at explaining his game. But I just wasn't entirely sure where the votes were going to come from. Just looking at these votes, like I just wasn't sure what it was going to lead to. I thought Janine was going to be a vote for Cassidy in this case. I wasn't entirely sure that Janine was going to respect Gabler's move here. But I was wrong. I was wrong. I didn't think Jesse was going to see Gabler as his really dominant player. But I was wrong. Now, if we're looking at the winner ranking, I do think Gabler's probably. I don't know. I think he's definitely in the middle of the 3 winners. Like, again, I think my view of Erica's game has gone up over time. Like, I think there's more merit to. All right, so we're coming back. And also just a thing, like Gabler was one of the first people we really knew about because his audition tape was like publicized and stuff. So like again, seeing this coming full circle is pretty good. Well, that's Jane's for you. That's Jane's for you. That's right, he was one vote away from a perfect game. Oh man, this is gonna be epic. It was a 7-1 vote. Like, if we're just looking at the way the order the votes came out, James was the only one to vote for Cassidy. So, how old is Gabler? Is he the? Yeah, he's the. Yeah, he's only 52, so he's younger than Bob. Yeah, so he's the second oldest winner. Okay. Wow, that's a dab right there. That's nice. It's good that he cares. That was epic. Yeah, that's pretty interesting stuff. Wow, they're still focusing on this. Yeah, they're making a whole meal out of this. Oh my god. One could say that. Maybe. Is there a trailer for 44? There could be. I mean, it would be a weird. It would be a weird segment though, because I mean, I guess they could do it. This season just went from a 2 to a 0. I wouldn't say that much. I think this was a good season. Good for him. Again, I'm just trying to imagine like what the reactions are going to be. Again, all those again like it's just crazy like how this season played out. I mean, now in terms of the player ranking, like I think Jesse's gonna be one probably. I guess Gabler's too. I mean, it would probably have to be. I would think. Okay, so I think it's Jesse one, Gabler two, Cassidy three, Carla four. No, no, no. Uh, Carla. Yeah, I think Carla Cody. That's a toss up for the four spot, but again, they're back to back 4 5. Then I don't know. Owen six, maybe, maybe six for Owen. Then I think Sammy seven. Um, Sammy seven. Noel eight. Uh, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, Noel eight. Number nine, James. James nine. Again, I'm literally doing this on the spot, so like I could just like revise this like later. James nine. Number 10. It's not Ryan, I don't think. I mean, Dwight 10? Does that sound about right? This season sucks? I wouldn't go that far. Again, like, again, a lot of people seem really down on this season, but it's like I don't think it was that bad. Like, I actually think it was kind of okay. But I mean, there were still plenty of issues with it. But I wouldn't say. Hold on, I just need to look at the boot order. So I think I said Dwight 10, right? I just need to see the people in front of me. So Dwight 10. Uh Ellie Ellie 11. Ryan 12. Janine 13. NECA 14. 15 is probably, I don't know, like Lindsay or Mariah. I'll say Lindsay just because like she was probably in a better position for like at least a couple of rounds, and it really just was that final round where she blew up her game. So that leaves like Mariah 16, Geo 17 probably, and then Justine 18. Again, that could change between now and when I actually put it together. This is just me going off the cuff. But yeah, I think that's probably what the player ranking is going to be for the season. Again, I just had to like record it. Like So I'm probably gonna record the review like either tomorrow or on Friday. So the review will come out on Saturday, and then probably Monday is gonna be like the player ranking, if I had to guess. So yeah, that's probably gonna be the plan for like videos like over the next couple days. I don't watch the show, but I'm in a work pool and chose Cassidy from the start. I got $80 if she comes in second. She got second. Yeah, she got one. It was 710. She got one vote, so she did get second. So you just got $80. This season would have been really good if Jesse won. Yeah, I probably would have preferred that, to be honest. Oh, well, yeah, we all make mistakes sometimes. Maybe. Erica play better than Sean Xander. Yeah. I guess the question is who I would vote for in the scenario. Well, again, we'll need to see more exit press to like really know for sure. I think inherently I would probably vote for Cassidy, though really it's not. They're really kind of close when you think about it. I think Cassidy has a more consistent game throughout, but Gabler definitely has higher highs potentially. So I'm wondering, have they updated the? So we know this has been updated, the boot order. All right, so they've updated that. What about his wiki page? Mike Gabler is the sole survivor of Survivor 43. Wow. Well, that's an interesting stat. So the last 6 seasons that have a mic have all had the mic make Final Tribal. So that's interesting. So going back to Mike Chisel from Redemption Island. What's this? Oh, he's just looking for the paperwork. But yeah, going back to Mike Chisel and Redemption Island, every season since then that has had no, oh, I read that wrong. They made it to the finale. But yeah, we have Mike Chisel from Redemption Island, Mike Holloway from Worlds Apart, Mike Zahalski from HHH, Dr. Mike, Mike White from David vs. Goliath, and then Mike Turner from 42, and then Mike Gabler from this season. So yeah, 6 seasons with mics in a row that the mic gets to the finale. And Yeah, most of those had them making it the final tribal too. So yeah, Mike's have a pretty good track record in Survivor. All right, so the Soul Survivor page, how they updated that? Oh, they haven't updated it yet. I'm guessing they haven't updated the perfect game either. To show how close he was to a perfect game. Um, no, they haven't updated it yet. Yeah, that's all right. If I was a juror, I would have voted Cass over Gabler. Again, I think I lean that way. Though again, it could be like an Erica situation where it's like the more we learn about them postseason, the more better I feel about the winner. So maybe I could feel better about Gabler in the future. But yeah, it'll be interesting to assess. Salty juries ruin Survivor. I don't think this was a salty jury. I think they genuinely liked Gabler and they were just impressed enough by him to vote for him. I don't think it was bitterness against Cassidy. I think they were just impressed by Gabler. I think Cassidy claiming big moves during FTC while she wasn't the leader cost her jury votes. Yeah, that could have harmed it. I mean, it's not as if Cassidy did nothing in the game. It's just that again, based on what we know, I feel like people saw James and Carla as the leaders of that Coco group for so much of the game. And then even after they were taken, even after like James was taken out, like and Cassidy was kind of acting more on her own, like she still like wasn't like behind it. I mean, like you have like the whole rivalry between Cassidy and Carla, for example. Like even in that move where Carla was taken out, like that wasn't really Cassidy winning that battle. That was more so like Jesse. Like I feel like that. Oh, they're using Sammy to like promote casting. That's funny. But I think I think that was an instance of like even though like they were setting up that rivalry for a while and like that theoretically could have been a move that Cassidy could have taken credit for. Like really like Jesse was like behind a lot of it. Like he was one of the more active people at that tribal with him whipping up the idol and then making things go live. Like I don't think they were really noticing Cassidy for a lot of it. So like I think that was definitely a big missed opportunity for Cassidy even though technically like Cassidy does get her way there. Like I don't think the jury really saw it as her move. So like I think that was a big issue there. But like I definitely see where you're coming from, but I don't know. I don't think Cassidy played that bad of a game. Like she was definitely like in the majority for a decent chunk of it. Like I feel like there were fewer points where she was like on the outs than like Erica or Marianne. Like she was definitely targeted to the same degree. Like obviously you had Ryan targeting her like then, but even then, like she was never really in that much danger going home at any point during that. So like, and then obviously there was the element of her winning out as well. Like, like you could take that or leave it. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what went wrong here. But like if I had to guess, yeah, if I had to guess, like Cassidy was just a bit too like subdued in like the way she was playing the game for a lot of it and like made it so that they weren't really seeing her moves for a lot of it. Whereas Gabler, even though Gabriel was talking about like how he was like going under the radar and going below the surface, like he still has like credit for like the Gabe. He still like is able to take credit for like the Ellie move, for example. And I think like he was shown being a bit more dynamic and like he was able to articulate like his relationships with most of the cast to where like he was able to say, for example, that he was like playing both sides. Where it's like in the pre-merge, like he was mainly aligned with like the Baka men to like go against like Ellie and Janine. But then the post-merge, it's like yeah, like while he wasn't in the driver's seat per se, like he was still like able to like build connections with like the Coco and like Vessi like contingent that was like dominating a lot of that post-merge to where like he was still technically part of their plans for a lot of it to a degree. Like obviously now that we have this in hindsight, like I'm more able to like rationalize it better than like and obviously I have a much clearer picture of it now that I know the outcome. It was just at the time, like again, like I just wasn't sure if their like liking of Gabler would translate to them actually wanting to vote for him, but clearly it did. Yeah, this reunion's not like that interesting. Like it's pretty by the numbers. Nobody ever targeted Gabler because he was a zero throughout the season. Yeah, that's true. All three were mediocrely even. I don't know. I think Owen was clearly a step down from them. Like Owen did not play a good game. I think Gabler and Cassidy were a bit more even, like overall. So like I guess to that end, that made it hard to determine. Not as bad of a winner as Fabio, Jenna Morasca. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Like Gabler's much better than those three. All right, now they're just talking about Noel. I like Gabler, so do I. I think people judge him because he's kind of crazy and weird, but really they just don't understand. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like he was perceived as like a loose cannon, but when you look at it the way he actually played, like he wasn't that chaotic for a lot of it. Like outside the Ellie stuff, but yeah, he was a mostly decent player. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying he's like a great player per se, but like he wasn't like terrible either. All right, I'm gonna check Reddit right now. I have to see like what the reaction is. Ellie in shambles. Gabler did initiate how the merge would play out with Ellie, and he wasn't everyone's alliance and a social player to where people fed him. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the bigger pros to his game. That's probably why he was able to be in the majority for so much of it. This is going to be an interesting review, by the way, and player ranking. Possible new record. Oh my god, what is Carla talking about? All right, another commercial. Survivor shout out at Gmail. Make your thoughts heard, everyone. Okay, so we are getting a trailer for 44. Does Idaho now have the best average placement? Gabler first, Ben first, Sherry tied for second. Only Iowa or Ontario come close, I think, maybe New Jersey. That's interesting. Like that yeah, like I have like I actually did consider making like I guess in the back of my head I have like a geography video. Like I'm not sure what I would do with it other than just rattling out the statistics. Like I do have some more general like survivor videos I want to make in the future. But yeah, that was something I was thinking about. A slight revision. Yeah, I'm just looking up like these posts. CBS needs to adjust. No, that's probably just due to inflation. Sorry, silly me for. Oh my god, all these memes. All right, just gotta see these. Oh my god, what is this? Oh wait, we're already back from commercial. The alligator. Interesting. Okay. Sorry, there's a new king in Fiji. No, he would have needed to. He would have needed Jane's vote to do that. So I guess like if we're comparing like the one vote away from a perfect game, it's probably better to like lose one jury vote than to have a vote against you. So take that as you will. What's Edgic saying? All right, let's read some of these chats here. Gabler is like if you took Tommy and mixed him with a little bit of Chris Underwood. Uh, I don't know about Tommy. I mean, Chris Underwood, I could see. The Ellie move was very calculated. And I think it was the right move. Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with that. Like, it was definitely a good move for him because Ellie was like against him. Gabler could have played a perfect game. If James did vote for him, he would have had yeah. He was one vote away from a perfect game. I think Cass lost because and that's the funny thing too. It's like all three of these duo seasons got the same exact jury vote, 7-1. Like it just keeps happening. Oh, and I think Cass lost because Jerry thought she was Carla and Jane's third wheel, so she didn't. Yeah, I think that. I think that's probably her biggest flaw. I mean, we'll see what they say in the exit interviews, but like just on the opposite, that's probably where she went wrong. It's hilarious that if Gabler got 8-0, he'd be up there with Cochran. Yeah, exactly. The season is a HHH or Ghost Island rating. I don't know. I think it's a bit closer to HHH. Cassidy tried taking credit for moves that weren't hers, and Owen did not highlight his game. I mean, Owen didn't really have a ton of strengths, really. Yeah, and I think you're right about Cassidy. I think Jeff didn't like having Gabler as the winner. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's just. I think he's just not pleased because Jesse lost. I think. I don't think he dislikes Gabler. I think he would have preferred Jesse winning, given his story and everything. Whether we like him or not, can we agree that the season had a terrible edit? I mean, it was definitely a fun season to follow, like just trying to follow the edge week to week and stuff. But I think you're right. Like, there's just a lot of weird stuff that doesn't really amount to much, and I think I think there are also some votes that weren't really well explained. Like, I feel like there are definitely flaws at it, but I'm not gonna complain that it was like less predictable. Like, I think there are definitely some pros. I think there's a give and take. It's an okay season with Jesse's move in Final Six being the best in. I don't know about best in show's history. I think there's plenty of better moves than that. It's certainly one of the better moves in the new era. Probably the best move in the new era, but I don't know. I think that Sophie move in Winners at War is probably more impressive than the Cody one. Gabler, love him. Boston Rob is the only losing finalist to win in a returning season. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Gabler, Gabler essentially was a floater between two factions until the final six, so he took a bit from Rob X's. Wait, Rob, you mean Rob C? Yeah, I think you meant Rob C. But was fortunate not to be underestimated by his peers. I don't know. I think Rob C was behind more moves individually than Gabler. Like outside the Ellie move, like it's really hard to think of a move that Gabler made individually in the end game. Whereas I feel like Rob C, like you can point to like him flipping on Alex at the final seven, for example, and him sort of flipping the vote against Christie at the final six. Whereas I feel like Gabler, like really like the Ellie move was probably like the most active he was in like leading the charge. But like, but yeah, it's good like Gabler was able to maintain threat management. All right, we're gonna get this preview or what? All right, we're gonna get this preview. All right. Is this again? I'm not super familiar with the 44 people yet. What's the Brandon? It's Carson. I think that's his name. Oh, interesting. I'm guessing there's going to be like an accident at the first challenge. I don't know. That can't lead to a medevac. All right, there's the idle cage. Wow, they're really hyping this up. Yeah, they're making a big deal out of this. There's Yam Yam. So it's a little weird because it's coming out March 1st, but I'm gonna be on vacation when the season starts, so it's gonna be weird for me to cover the beginning of it. You would rank Gabler third on the player ranking. I don't know. I think he's at least number two. Like I wouldn't discount him that much. Yeah, but there we go. That was the finale. Yeah, I'm probably gonna be heading off in a couple minutes. Just wanted to see any final chats here. Survivor is real. Yep, that's probably gonna be one of the themes of this season. Maybe that's why they are so excited for it. But yeah, that was the finale. Again, very pretty happy with the outcome. I'm sure everyone's gonna say that it came out of nowhere. Know It Alls is gonna be fun to listen to, but I'm gonna be pretty happy with it. And yeah, like there's that. So I guess in terms of like the content moving forward, so like again, reviews probably gonna come out on Saturday. Monday is probably gonna be the player ranking, probably. And then yeah, just moving forward, like I just have more like stuff planned. Like Circle's coming out soon. Probably gonna cover that. Uh, thanks, Lightning. Thanks for your support. But yeah, like I know like Circle's coming up. Australian Survivor's starting up soon. Again, I'm probably gonna do some general Survivor content for a bit. I know that's one of like the things I haven't done as much on the channel is like more general Survivor content, but I do want to do more of that moving forward. And yeah, like that's pretty much it. I'm not sure if anyone had anything else they wanted to add before I sign off. But wow, this is like again, I'm pretty happy that I did this. Like, and I'm pretty glad that y'all could be here for it. But yeah, so there we go. Yeah, I'm probably gonna sign off now. Uh, thank you all for joining tonight's live stream. It was a lot of fun, and I'll probably do this again soon. Like, I'm not sure when exactly. Like, but I do enjoy this process and everything. I do have a Discord. I do have a Discord. It's in the link. It's in the link. I mean, it's in the description, I mean. But yeah, very fancy stuff. What just happened? Well, everything just happened. The whole world just went by. Oh my god, more people are here. Yeah, I wasn't sure if anyone had any other questions at this time or if anyone wanted to talk about anything before we head off. Alrighty. Well, in that case, I wish you all good night and again, expect more content moving forward. See ya.